Yeah, man. Shout out to the patrons for the continued support. Thank you guys. Patreon.com/Taylor Durden. For those of you that aren't already subscribed, I hope this isn't so. There's not so much latency on this live because I'm not on the Wi-Fi right now. But we'll see. I got somebody joining me in a second. I'm just waiting for them to jump in here. I'm gonna link my other account so I can let everybody know that I'm following. So it might be some feedback in a second. I'm gonna jump out of it in a second. Just hold on. Look at that. Look at that. It's funny. But yeah, how y'all doing, man? Y'all can ask some questions if you want. I'm just waiting for my man to jump up in here. I got a few topics I wanted to touch on. Just waiting for him to hit. Okay, he jumped in. Just waiting for the request now. We'll go in.
Yo,
Hey, what's up, man?
what's going on?
Not much, man. I guess I'll let you take it away. I got a few things I was trying to go off of what
Wait,
you started with.
your audio sounds a little like muffled.
All right, hold on.
I don't know if anybody else can hear that.
I'll put it. Let me see. Is it better now?
Yeah, that's
Is it better
yeah,
now?
that sounds good. What's going on?
All right, cool. Not much, man. Just kind of just adjusting like any other prison. You know what I mean? You gotta get in there and adjust.
Wait, first we haven't talked in a minute, but I gotta ask. So, how you feeling just from going from Germany to Brazil? How you feeling right now?
Man, I definitely like. I don't know. I definitely. I mean, the weather. The weather. Yeah, I say the weather really makes a world of a difference, man. I really. Um, Germany is cool in the summer. It's not bad, but it's just too unpredictable. Like I feel like the weather is so much more steady here. It's like 88 every day, and I don't have to like really think about like a low day will be like 80. So I don't know. Like when I was in Germany, that shit was fluctuating so much, man. Like and it would fluctuate throughout the day so hard, and then rain, and then drop into the 40s someday. Because I was like outside the Alps, so the weather would just be up and down, and then that shit would just drop on me at night, and I just felt like it was fucking with my whole equilibrium.
I heard what you were saying about
I couldn't really
the
find a
rain and
balance.
it was fucking you up.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like ultimately, like kind of like in general, like leaving like playing football at this point is I mean it's I think it's like almost like an autocorrect. I feel like throughout when I look at my life in general, like my life hits certain um roadblocks or like when I don't like apply my will enough, then I feel like football just steps in and like edits my life and just like all right, well we'll just give you some structure here for this period until you like reach a point where you get sick of it and want to take back your will and
You
create your
remember
own
the
structure.
last time we talked? You actually said that story about, and I still think about it. Remember you said you was fully bike life. Do you remember that story you was telling? And you said how like,
Yeah, that
and you
was
were saying how like,
10 years ago.
yeah, but you were saying how like it was because you had what came with that lifestyle, and then here you go talk about football, like what comes with that lifestyle, and I feel like you even said it like you knew you were gonna go into this loop before months before you accepted it. I think what you do is you go through like a grieving process of the loop you're about to do. You know what I'm saying? Like you're like, yeah, you're like, all right, I'm about to go do football for 3 months. I'm gonna be sad about it for a month before it happens, so I'm not sad during the process. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's like let me adjust to this temperature before I
Yeah,
get in this.
that's what happens. I
Before
think
yeah.
that's what happens. You go, oh, let me just digest this now before it happens. And I think that I don't think many people can do that because I feel like you got to be.
I think ultimately,
Wait, what were we about to say?
I, my bad. No, I said I think ultimately, like I gotta reach a certain level of fucking up to even like go and rewind enough to play football.
But hold on, doesn't that go back to why you
Like,
told that the bike life story? Because you said what came with it, drinking. What destructive behaviors came with it, and then here you go. You were talking about fucking up.
yeah, yeah. I mean, when I started riding a bike, actually, I wasn't doing so bad, man. I feel like, I don't know, like that was more so busting and like fucking the wrong
Yeah.
chick, man. Busting a nut with the wrong chick. That I feel like that bike life just happened to coincide with that, I guess, of me just being like, fuck it, man, fuck everything. I think when I just was like, let me just take my hands off the
Yeah,
wheel
like let me
and
close
just
my
let
eyes
life
for a
just
second.
yeah. But like now, like yeah, so like I think all right, so when I went back to football in 2013 to go play in Serbia, I felt like leading up to that, like I was just trying to escape reality hard. Like I was just I don't know, like I had just did a lot of world travel and I kind of just didn't want it to end. And I was just like, fuck it. I really hurt myself a lot, like hurt my body a lot in that period. And then I was like, I guess it fucked with my whole decision making process. I just didn't want the party to stop.
Yeah,
So then I was like, fuck it. I'll just go to Serbia and play just so I can be not somewhere where people, where they might know where I'm at. And so like, I just, I mean, I feel like I just reached a threshold of like self-inflicted wounds that I just was like, all right, this is what I'm gonna do now. Like life was like, all right, it's time for you to remember that you don't want to rewind. So I went to Serbia and I was like, all right, now fuck this shit. You know what I mean? I don't want to do this shit. And then I didn't play again for years. Honestly, football was like not even in my mind really. I was like, I'm not doing that shit ever again. And then like my life got just completely destroyed. Like 2016, everything went downhill. And then, because I started off 2016 pretty strong. Like I was healthy, getting healthier and healthier each month. And then like midway through it, I started to like regress. And then by the end of it, I was in full regression. And then, yeah, my whole life I felt like was just in shambles, and I was just not in touch with my will. I was like, I didn't have a pulse really. And then it was like fuck. And then football kind of just came in again. Like here you go. I'll revive your dumb ass, give you some structure. You know what I mean? And then I got like some structure for like 2 years. Like kind of like a year and a half. I had some structure, and then I was like, you know what? I'm sick of this shit. You know what I mean? And then um, that was that's kind of what happened again. Like I feel like I ended up being in like a prison
yeah,
now because of my dog
yeah.
dying.
That's I
Um,
think that's what started all of this for you to get here.
it's the only way for me to be like away from my dogs, and then I have to think about everything that culminated in my dog's
Yeah,
death, all the selfish decisions I made, like minute decisions, and like is the only way for me to be isolated like that, to be in another prison. Like it's really a different kind of prison. Like it's mad beautiful women, the weather's
oh, I bet.
lovely, coconuts is cheap, watermelons is
Fresh,
cheap,
probably
everything
fresh
is
juice. You can walk up
yeah.
and get it right away.
Yeah, I mean, like papayas is basically free. Everything is cheap as shit. You know what I mean? Like, everything is as far as what we would consume is like basically they're giving it away. And at the same time, it's like nobody really knows English. It's a hardcore carnist society. They're mostly meat eaters, and like hardcore meat eaters, and and it's a really digital society. Like all of Brazil pays with like their version of Apple Pay. Like they don't even
Yeah,
be
they don't use
using cash.
cash.
Like you know, what I mean? Like it's not much cash being used in this. I'm sure like in the favelas they probably use cash because people be broke, I guess. But I mean like in the city where I'm at, it's a million people here. I feel like nobody uses cash. Every time I try to use cash, they be pissed. They be like, damn, now I gotta go get something from another. Yeah, they don't have the change on deck. So like, and then on top of that, Brazil is like 80, 90% vaccinated, at least where I'm at. You know what I mean? So it's like an open air
So
prison
let me ask you,
in a lot of ways.
why is it that it takes being so far, isolated in their own prison for you to be able to digest what happened? Like, why is that? This is just a general question because, like, I find that stuff because obviously, I was just on vacation, and I'm just like, and I was just traveling, and then I was able to finally think and process how I got to where I am, and I'm like, why can't I do this when I'm at home? Why is it now
Yeah, yeah.
like your dog and your actions that get you here when you're in Brazil?
I don't know. I guess you need some contrast in life. I guess it's like the same thing, like when people die or when you go through breakups or whatever. Like it's like some type of shift has to happen so that you have like some sort of like perceived absence to where you can, see, I guess kind of see that you're chasing something that's not there or what. I don't know. I think you just need some contrast, but I don't know. I can't really speak to your personal experience. I just know for me, like I guess this is like this is what prison, how it would translate into me, like in a way that I can handle. You know what I mean? It's not like I'm going to San
Yeah,
Quentin. I'm not doing a bid like that. So I think this is like my form of punishment, like tailored to me that I would give me, and then um, it's like identification with the slave, like with the body, kind of, or the false self is kind of the slave, and like instead of like the master identification. Because I think if you identify with the slave part of you, then I think you're just going to be like, yeah, vanity and
yeah.
glory
Like
and
all your
fucking.
teammates.
What's my bad? You
I
broke
said you would be
up.
like all your teammates. I think that's what's even more isolating for you is that you can't even relate to your teammates because they're you they're looking at the vanity, the what they're getting, and you're just like, yo, man, I'm just here to play football and dip. You know what I mean? Like you're like,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not even here for
yeah,
all what y'all here
yeah,
for.
yeah. Like I definitely want to
Yeah,
win. Like I definitely know. Like if I'm a you know what I mean? If I was in prison playing on some longest
as
yard
long
shit, I still want to win. You know what I mean? I still want to
as
win. I don't. I still never want to lose. If I'm gonna be in it, I still
now,
hate losing so
like in a
much.
sense of like
But
after
yeah,
practice, like they gonna be drinking, they gonna want to go out, and you're like, nah, I'm cool. Which only creates a division between you two because then they're like, who's this dude think he is? He's better than us that he doesn't have to drink after games and celebrate with us. You know what I mean? That only creates further division.
yeah, and then I mean, like I think like it's really they're not so much pressurized as like I feel like Germans after practice immediately drink a
Immediately.
beer.
What
You
about
know what
in
I'm saying?
Brazil?
I feel like it's not like that. I feel like for them it's just the
Oh, okay.
food. It's more so the food. Like they be like, yo, you want to eat that? Oh, you can't eat that. Oh, you damn, you can't eat this. And so like they always trying to like find a way to get me to eat
But that
something. And I just feel like because like
but
before the
that culture
game,
is all
like
about eating community.
yeah. Yeah, I didn't want to be disrespectful a few times. I was like, fuck it, I have something, you know what I mean? Like, I have some, at least I have a salad while I have
Yeah.
pizza or something, you know what I mean? Or before the game, right? It's crazy because the quarterback that was here before me is from Baltimore, right? Dark skinned dude. And he never ate before the games. He had like enough knowledge himself
Yeah.
to know that, I guess. Right. And I never, what I mean? I really eat very little or if at all before games. And so like they was like, yo, come on, you gotta eat before the games, man. Like the last dude, he didn't do that and everything. I'm just like, yo, y'all don't understand. Like this guy had like innate knowledge of self, and that's why he was doing it. Like I'm sure he
Yeah.
ate just like y'all, but he knew like I'm not about to fuck with my nervous system
For the
before the
game. Yeah.
game. And like, yeah. So before the game, like they eating crazy, like 11 in the morning, eating crazy, all different types of food
Uh,
combinations. And I'm like, cause yeah. And I was just like, let me just get some papaya, man. I'll just take some of that. Cause
I'm
they had like a fruit bar area on the buffet. I was like, I'll just take some papaya. And they were like, I can't eat that. Every time I eat that, man, I get diarrhea and shit. I'm like, yo, you already got that up in you. You that just got it out. But
I
all right,
know.
word,
Like,
all right,
I don't
yeah,
like when
like it's crazy. They
sugar,
like
man.
yo, yeah. They was like, I can't. They're like, I can't eat that shit unless I know I don't have work, so I can sit home and take a shit because I can't. You know what I mean? I don't know it's gonna be diarrhea. I can't control it. I'm like, damn, dog. Yeah, that's crazy. I just be thinking about like, damn, the way people like the way life flows through people is totally different. Like, and like I'm just not. I can't really, pretend like I used to. I feel like I
Well,
could
now you're
pretend
getting
better
older.
before.
I feel like I was just talking about that the other. I feel like it's impossible to pretend now. Like as soon you can, right away you can look at a person. I think this actually goes off one of your most recent videos. Like you said, you were like looking at a older woman, right, and you could instantly tell like what led her to her actions, right? And it's like you can almost look at a person and can tell everything about that person. So it's like, why would I even want to interact with them? So you try your best to like avoid circumstances and scenarios and things like that.
Yeah, yeah, man. I mean, and it's like a different kind of isolation. You know what I mean? Because like the language barrier. I mean, yo, when I be in America, I feel like I'm not necessarily welcomed, but I don't think people look at me so strange generally. You know what I mean? Like I could go to the store or whatever. But when I be in other places and I'm not speaking the language, then I feel like it's like double like in Inception. Remember Inception when he was like, yo, you're in my dream, I'm not in yours, and then
Yeah,
everything started attacking the
yeah,
bitch. That's how I feel, like. So as soon as I come in, it's like they realize they realize like I'm intruding on their dream. That's what it feels like. Like, bitch, you waking us up, bitch. We don't want to be awake, and you in here disrupting the flow of the dream, and you're not speaking. You speaking English. Like they don't need
yeah,
to speak anything but
yeah,
Portuguese because the country's big as shit, is beautiful. Like they don't need to go somewhere else to see some beautiful shit or some beautiful people or some shit like that. And it's wild because like you know how it is in America. Like a bitch be bad. So much of the country's out of shape that a bitch be bad and she's just like, oh, I'm just gonna be a influencer or some shit or be yoga instructor. Like bitches here be bad as fuck and be like, a bus
and
boy. You
hold
know
on,
what I
and
mean?
that's just a regular one. Like they're
Just
everywhere. That's regular
regular.
though.
They're
That's
everywhere. Yeah.
everywhere.
So yeah, like this chick, if she was in America, she could easily be like have a crazy
Crazy,
account,
bro.
60,000
That's why you
followers,
don't even like. You
125,000
can't even
followers.
like the bag like the any bad bitch here. You can't even like because you already know that they know. So they're like, I'm gonna make a following out of this. So it's just like, man, I don't even want to be a. I don't even want to talk to you for real.
Yeah, and out here, they're not even thinking like that. They're like, shit, I need to get this money because I can. It's not
Yeah,
special. It's not
because they're
special.
regular.
It's not special to be
They're
pretty.
regular.
Yeah, yeah. You be see. I mean, the regular chick is
Yeah.
bad in America. Just the regular one, I feel like is bad. Like she's like a strong seven in America, regular. You know what I
Regular
mean?
is bad.
Like if she's really if she's really dressed up, she's like a 8.5 or something. You know what I mean? I feel like I don't know. It may just be in better shape, And then a lot of the dudes is like, I don't know, a lot of dudes is feminine, you know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know if that's what that is in the world. Like, I feel like a lot of the world is kind of like that because dudes, they're not circumcised, I
Mm-hmm.
think. So, like, I think they allowed to be a little more
Okay.
soft because they're not circumcised, I think. I think that's what it is. But then like, I guess you combine that with like the chemical attack and the agenda the agenda from the media, like you get a lot of feminized dudes. So like it's mad chicks. I think that they like, yo, it's plenty of beautiful women out here. It's not that many manly
Yeah.
men. I I better just be a good person and get this money because I'm not nobody about to follow
Yo,
me. You know what I mean? It's
yo,
like,
when I was in Japan, there was more dudes wearing makeup than the girls. I didn't know what was going on. I'm walking down.
that's
I'm like,
reckless.
yo, all the dude, yo, but hold on, they would have a bad chick too wearing makeup with her. I'm like,
That's
yo,
nuts,
I'm like, what is going
bro.
on?
You just y'all can save at Sephora. You can get deals to get the two
Yeah,
for
get the
one.
dude.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
That's nuts, yo.
yo, I'm telling you, it was crazy. Japan was like the most feminine men I've ever seen.
What you think about Asia? See, I don't know. Asia's wild, man. You went to
I did
Vietnam?
go to Vietnam.
What's Vietnam like? I've never been to Vietnam.
Uh, I'm gonna say it was first of all, women everywhere are they all met. You know, remember the Boondocks? He said they had the curtains and shit over their eyes. Remember that from that episode where Charlie Murphy? Bro, they're so light. They're so Remember, skin tone still matters over in Asia. So
Yeah,
they're covered. Yo, they're
everywhere.
covered head to toe, man. You don't know what they look like. Um, but just the vibe overall, it was great. Cambodian women, though, I will say, when I was in Cambodia, the Cambodian women were beautiful. I'm gonna be honest, they were beautiful, and just darker skin. I like
That's
the
what's
dark,
up.
the darker skin. I like that. I loved it. I'm not gonna lie. But Vietnam, it was cool. I just think it's too hectic. You know how them Asian countries are. They're hectic, man. It's chaotic. It's crazy, but it's
It's a lot
yeah, but
going
they're
on.
calm though. Like they're calm in all that chaos.
Yeah,
And I'm just like, yo, you not freaking out? Like, but this regular. That's regular to them. So it is what it is.
yeah. I mean, they gotta have some manly men for them to be whooping motherfucking America and France's ass at the same time.
Yeah, I mean,
You know what I mean?
I did see Vietnam.
Vietnam, they gotta have some. They just
Yeah.
small, I guess, but
Nah,
they still work with their
I
hands, I
will say
guess.
I saw way more just masculinity in Vietnam than any other country. I will say the like you knew you couldn't really fuck around. Like they probably keep you in check. Like you know how like the drunk Europeans are. You know they be wilding everywhere you go. Like they couldn't let them
Yeah,
do that. They get beat up. They'll get beat up here
that's hilarious.
because you know
That's what's
you've
up,
been
though.
everywhere though, so you know how like the Europeans are when they travel. They get real drunk and rowdy and be doing the most. Not in Vietnam.
Yeah, I mean, only place I've been in Southeast Asia is Thailand and Laos, man, and that day is
It's the same.
basically the same. That's basically the same. Yeah, basically the same. Um, yeah, bro. I don't know. I couldn't live in there full time. I think it's a beautiful spot, but I mean, full time would be crazy, bro. Unless you're just in the woods somewhere, in
You
the
could
jungle somewhere, I
do
guess.
that. I
But
told you, you know, I'm
I
moving.
think you still got to import a
I'm
baby
moving
mom. I have to import a baby mom.
this rate. I think I'm gonna move to
Yeah,
Taiwan or Vietnam next year. Yeah, I
Taiwan.
think I am. Even though I know the whole thing,
That's
even
a
though I know
crazy. That's a
China and
gamble.
everything like that. But look, I'm out.
It could work out. Yeah, it could work out. I mean, Taiwan could work. I think Taiwan's dope because it's like completely up to
It's
speed.
you hit it. It was.
You know what I mean?
I was like, yo, where am I? It felt like America, honestly.
Yeah,
Starbucks.
Starbucks everywhere. You
It
know what
was
I mean?
like everything
Yeah.
looked like digital, barely any cash. I mean, they took cash, but barely. It was a great place. I think I could live there. I think I could live there at least for a little bit. With hold on,
Yeah.
this
Yeah, I think yeah,
brings
for
me to
sure.
my next. One of the questions I have for you was, you talked about, and I experienced that moment when I was on my journey, um, creating new experiences, and this is for you with football as well. So there's no resistance in your body when you're doing football or when you're traveling to places you've been. So, and you were saying that you spent your whole life trying to avoid fear, right? And I feel like everybody does. Everybody wants to be comfortable in life, avoid as much fear as possible, right? Kind of like keep themselves in a structured space. So, what does not necessarily living in fear, but what does you know accepting fear and creating new experiences look like? You know what I mean? Because like right when you go to Germany and you go to Brazil and play football, you already know this is not a new experience. You've done it. What would creating new experiences and living in fear, accepting the unknown look like? Because you know what's crazy? I never been to Vietnam and Cambodia, but Taylor, I'm sitting there on the beach and I'm sitting there and I said, man, I already been here before. This shit feel regular. This shit feel like I've been here. This ain't nothing new. Like I knew I've been here, and
Yeah.
I was like, and then low key, and I had a moment where I was like, damn, this shit ain't new. Like I've been here. This is regular. So I was like, damn.
Yeah.
And then when you're talking about, yeah, you got to go live in the fear, go create some experience. I'm like, well, what does that even look like, though? Have you thought about that? Have you? I know that wasn't that long ago you said that, but have you thought about what it looked like for you?
I, I think well if you never experience fear then you're never gonna experience being brave. So then, what I mean, I think for That I think my shit is like where I think I tried to tackle something like pun intended, I guess, trying to do a sport at an elite
Yeah,
level. Like to me, there wasn't much fear in
yeah,
that because it was like, well, if I fail, shit, only 0.01%
that's fact.
succeed. So most of you
Not
going to fail. You know what I
many
mean? Most
play
of you will
football
never.
over. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. I mean, 0.01 get a full scholarship, and then I think it's even smaller margin that gets to a career in the pros. So it's like, I mean, I beat the odds in a lot of respects. You know what I mean? And most people will never really even know a fucking
Yeah,
professional player on a
yeah.
personal level. It's not that many of them. It's like 5,000 NBA
Ever.
players ever. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? You know what I mean? You got to think about that. The whole history of the world is you got 5,000 motherfuckers. It's a crazy fraternity. You know what I mean? So like, it's probably like 1,000 quarterbacks ever,
mhm.
if that. I don't even think.
Right.
And probably, so I think that like that. Yeah, it's a small club. So I think that for me, taking on something so big and failing that really kind of didn't bring so much fear. I feel like after not achieving the greatest pinnacle of that, the hardest thing is like where do you go from there? Because like if you fail like at McDonald's after that or something, then your self-esteem really drops, I feel like. So I think it's hard for me to go into another thing because it feels like I don't know how I would adjust to failure at these other levels just because I like the way I feel like it defines me. Like,
Well, no,
failing and fun.
that's not true. You know why? Because you did comedy and you did
Hmm?
stand up and you tackled places right away with not even 15 minutes of material. So I feel like you're kind of downplaying how you would be able to handle it because that's even crazy.
No, I
You know what I'm saying?
mean like
Even
yeah.
crazy to do.
Yeah, I mean that's even more hateful,
No,
I
that,
think, than sports. In sports, you get a lot of competition, a lot of nobody really wants to help you. Maybe you get some teammates
yeah,
that want to help you and learn with you, but I feel like in entertainment, especially comedy, nobody wants to
nobody.
help you. Not
Also,
one person, nobody. Yeah, the people that they showing up they supporting their people. They don't want to laugh at your jokes. And that shit it's really competitive. So it's hard to turn a crowd that's not there. They're totally against giving you any energy. So I think it is tough. But I mean it like I'm scared to fail on a level that I'm deeming smaller. Like if I just was to do basic things, like if I turn my property into just a garden, the whole thing, and then if I fail doing that, or if I fail just basic stuff, I think if I make it grandiose and outlandish, then failure doesn't feel so scary. But like failing, it's like I got it fucked up though.
yeah,
Like being a dad is like
exactly.
you failing, yeah. If you fail like being a dad, that's like the biggest failure.
Okay.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like Michael Jordan, the greatest motherfucking basketball player ever, but as a dad, he dropped the ball crazy. You know what I mean? Scottie
Fail.
Pippen dropped the ball crazy. You
Crazy.
know what I mean? Karl
Fail.
Malone,
Crazy.
total failure. You know what I mean?
Crazy.
Like total failure. So like like these people consider legends in some regard, but they failures in like
Where
where
really?
it
Yeah,
really
yeah.
matters. And like you know what I mean? But that's where we at. Like, you know what I mean? Where my mind has got contorted to where I'm like, I don't really want the simple, gentle stuff where I'm like just being a dad or having a simple position. Don't have to be a job necessarily, like a position where I'm functioning in life, and I'm part of like moving life forward somehow, making the world go around or whatever, however you want to put it. That type of shit is where my fear is. Like, I don't want to, I feel like if it's not grandiose, then I'm
Yeah.
like scared to fail. I'm scared to fail in them other ways. That, like, this shit don't scare me. If somebody was like, yo, you go on TV, you do a concert in front of 60,000 people, I'm like, whatever, you fail, that's fine. There's no fear there. But if somebody's like, have an intimate moment with your son, I'm like, yo, I don't know. I don't
It might be
know,
your
bro.
mom's
That's,
weekend. Go see your mom this weekend.
yeah, what I'm saying? That shit, the simple shit be having me like, is there another way I can make this
Yeah.
harder so it can seem like give, you know what I mean, more
Why?
fantastical
Why? But hold
somehow?
on though. Let's break that down because why is that? Why is I noticed that, and I actually had that conversation. Like showing up for somebody, like in an intimate moment or just anything, just showing up for them is harder than, like you said, just doing something big. Why is that though?
I don't
Where
know,
do you
man. I
get
guess it's just because I guess you just want to get recognition. Like you're not gonna get
from?
recognition for some
Yeah,
basic,
it is. That,
basic
that
kindness and compassion.
is.
You're not. Nobody's gonna be like breaking news today. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
He gave this motherfucker a ride. He didn't have to do
real
it. He
shit.
did
Be
that today,
looking
or
for it
whatever it
though.
is. You
You
know?
like, yo, you dropping them off. Yo, y'all see me? I dropped them off, right? Nah, they gonna be like, why you talking about that, man? I thought
Let,
you was doing it for the free.
yeah. Let's go live. But that's how people and that's how people be working on the
No,
internet. They be cringe like that. Like, let's go live.
that is true.
I gave him 75 cents. Look at that. I'm
Be like, yo,
helping the poor.
look
Look at
sad for the
that.
camera while I give you this 500. It's like, bro, what
Yeah.
are you doing?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, or just people giving you like their testimonials and they're gonna cry to you. They're not gonna like just tell you what happened and then be honest about what the solutions would be. And they just, I feel like it's just, I'm not cringe enough. That's why I feel like in the net, I'm just not
Nah, that,
cringe enough
no,
to
'cause you
ever
know what?
really
I
be,
tweeted about you actually the other day, and the reason why, and you answered the question. Because I was just thinking, like, imagine if you didn't have social. Imagine if we was back and you didn't have social media and you had no connection. Have you ever watched them old videos, right? Like, let's say Dick Gregory or Delbert Blair's and all them, right? And you thinking, and I'm thinking to myself, right? There's 10 people at this show. Like, how did those 10 people know about, Billy Hemmett, like, speaking here? And then I'm thinking, like,
yeah,
Taylor's got social media. He should be bigger now, but he's not. And I'm like, I don't understand where the disconnect is. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm confused because,
yeah,
nowadays you go on YouTube, right, and you see those guys like Layla Africa and stuff like that. How their videos got 100,000 views. But if you watch their speeches, there's 10 people in that. You know what I mean? There's 10 people there. And I'm thinking to myself, how did
yeah,
they even get these 10? Like, and that's what that recognition comes.
yeah.
Because my question is, would you have been able to continue? Like, imagine if you were doing what they were doing back then. Would you have been able to continue? Like, if only 10 people are showing up, and you're like, damn, man, I'm working this shit. 10 people are showing up, but you still got to go hard. Like, you ever think about that?
Um, I wouldn't want to record that, but I would go through with helping the people, talking to the people, but it would make me not want to record it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? I think so, yeah, because I feel like this isn't a good
yeah.
packaging. You know what I mean? I'm like, I don't really want to sell this. You know what I mean? It's not 60,000 screaming fans or whatever. I guess that's what, it doesn't, but I would still go through with the process. I think for me, you look at like my sister is basically the same genetics, man. She just so much, I'm not to tear her down, but she does not, the cringe don't bother her. The shamelessness, like as far as like branding herself and stuff, I could never do it. You
But
know what I mean? So I just be like, fuck it. More power to her. More power to her, bro. I could never do it. I could never do the videos like she be doing that that fit in that 15, 20-second reel where people scroll or they see the shit and then they get caught. They get
if you
captivated by it. I could
that
never do it.
intro, I'm talking about them intros on them YouTubes. Like, if you just did simply that on your videos, I guarantee you get more. It's all about the presentation. They don't even care about what you're saying now. I don't think. Like, I generally don't
Yeah.
know if they care about what people are saying as long as it's presented in a nice way.
Yeah. I just feel like remember in Indiana Jones when he was looking for the Holy
Mm-hmm.
Grail, and it was all a beautiful cup. It was all the beautiful cups there, and then he was like, "It's that
Yeah,
one basic ass cup," and that was the
yeah.
Holy Grail. You know what I mean? That's how I be feeling. Like
That's what it is. That's what
huh?
I'm saying. That's what I be thinking about when
Yeah,
I'm like, damn, why is Taylor not bigger? Why are these people not bigger? I just don't be. I know you have to rack your head around it too, because I know you got to be like, this shit make no sense.
I guess it's by design. I
And
mean, because you really want people to actually listen or receive it, and then not just treat it like kind of
mm,
like porn. I think people treat like breath work almost like porn or like a protein shake or something like that. It's just like a commodity or what do you mean? Like all the shit, like reels. When they look at people on social media, it's like, I want to feel a certain way. I put this person on. it's not like they really want to learn. They just like, I want to stimulate myself in a
I'm not,
certain way. And I think so. When you talk this shit, I think you're trying to like get in touch with people that already have like and like some connection with consciously to their will, and so they'll apply their will. They'll like listen, expand on what you said or whatever, and they're gonna apply themselves. And so you speaking to those people is a minority. It's
because
not that many people that really know they
sometimes I
will.
watch when you go live with people, right? And it's weird. They do this thing with some people. I'm not saying all people, but some people you go live with, it feels like they try to like if I'm coming on a live with you, I'm trying to ask you questions, extrapolate on a dialogue, learn something, right? It feels like sometimes when people go live with you, it feels like they're in a competition with you. They're trying to like show how much knowledge they have to like combat something. Like I'll hear you say something like 5 minutes, right? You'll speak for like 5 minutes. I'm like, damn. All right, next dude's about to break what you said down, and then they just go, yeah. Then they go, no, they go, yeah, that was cool, but this is cooler. And I'm like, bro, what? You just ruined the whole flow of the conversation. That goes back to how they say you treat it as porn. Like it feels like some people just want knowledge just to show it off, or just like look what I have and you don't have. And it's like then at that point you're not even using it for good in the first place. Why would I watch or
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah. In the beginning, I honestly feel like I was successful in the, I guess in the 3D sense. I was just making videos because I was like, I kind of felt guilty. I was like, damn, I know a lot of this shit because I have the money to pay for these classes and to put myself in these places. I can't live with just knowing that. Let me just crank shit out because I got a lot of free time. Let me just share the shit. And I feel like I had a really good, it was coming from a better place. I feel like in that respect, because I was just like, yeah, let me just get as much out as possible. Then it kind of turned into like a competition with myself, like where I'm trying to just say like the most stimulating. Then I got into like the cringe fest. I feel like I got it, and then it reached a place where I just couldn't get more cringe. I think I reached my cringe pinnacle at like 2020, like
2020?
because I don't know. I feel like, yeah, I think I got less and less cringe after 2020 because I feel like I stopped doing as much drugs. Like I stopped doing as much psychedelics. I stopped getting high. You know what I mean? By 2022, I'm not getting high or I'm not
Okay.
doing any psychedelics really. Like, so it's like a handful of times I've done psychedelics since 2022. So like I just feel like my brain is now coming back down into like equilibrium, and I just look back at some of the shit I was posting. I was like, this is so conceptual, and I'm like, it cringes me the fuck out, and I'd be like, damn, man, like. If some of this shit was value, if there's value in some of it, and maybe some people got it or whatever, but it does to me. It makes me cringe, and I'm just like, man, I hope this shit didn't influence nobody, because I'd be like, damn, I was just high. I really hope it doesn't influence nobody. That's how I be feeling. I'm like, damn,
Dude, that's
I'm
crazy. But wait,
sorry. Yeah, I mean,
are there
yeah.
any topics before I ask any other questions? Wait, well, actually, you didn't actually answer the question though. What does look at what does
What's that?
living in fear look like for you? Because you remember you said
Yeah,
you were like, I
basic
need
stuff.
to stop trying to avoid the fear, right? That's what you said. Stop trying to avoid the fear and kind of take it on. So what does that look like? Even just for the average,
I mean, I
so
think
that we can hear this and be like, man, I do need to start doing that too.
I think like since I've been sober, I waste about 2 hours a day. I think I
Waste.
waste
What you
about
mean
two
waste?
hours a day. Yeah, just and I think if I waste it. I wasted either just like talking or some sort of waste. You know what I mean? Like just being too passive with life and not really me in life. I think about like 2 hours a day. I feel like I waste like hour in the evening, hour in the morning. I probably waste. You know what I mean? Where I could maybe get up an hour earlier. Because sometimes I just get up in bed and I don't have nothing to do and I just be sitting in
Yeah,
the bed.
yeah,
You know what I mean? And it's like I don't have. There's no
yeah.
pressure there. I'm not applying the pressure
No, I
myself.
see what you're
Like
saying.
there's only so much pressure from the outside world. So my body is like not even. It's like, yeah, I guess we could just lay here or whatever. We could slowly get up or whatever. Like I'm not. I just feel like if I was to fully utilize my time, then I think different opportunities would show themselves, and then that would be more responsibility and there would be more fear because then I just have to be in the moment more. You know what I'm saying? Like I have to just be accepting what comes next. That's what I mean. Like as far as this shit, I had to really settle down in a in a not in a negative way, but like into reality. To where I'm just doing what makes sense and what would make me like truly content with the day. Instead of like kind of trying to reach too far and shit. Just do basic stuff. You know what I mean? Just self care stuff. Talk to the people I care about. Take care of things I want to take care of, and really play my position or like fulfill my position in life. And it's just I want my position to be such a grandiose position. You know what I mean? Because then failure doesn't feel so bad. But if it's just like basic shit, whether it's just like, I could just do breath work for 20 minutes or I could just draw or whatever, anything else I could use this time or I could try to reach out to somebody that I don't have a good relationship with anymore, whatever it is. That type of shit I feel like is where the fear is. And I probably waste about 2 hours a day, not applying more pressure on myself. And I think that's kind of what it looks like for me. Just little stuff to where I'll have more responsibility in my life. Like right now, I'm just really rogue. You know what I mean? I'm really like selfish, and I can be that way. Like I don't, I find like the things that ailed me that is the same shit that I'd be like using as an excuse to just
Yeah.
stay not growing. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, all right, well, I ain't got no family, I ain't got no friends, so I don't need to be a good friend. I
That's
don't
true.
need to make a family. I don't need to ever care about it. I don't need to care about other people. I don't need to care about anything outside myself and what I'm feeling or thinking. And so like that's like taking years to like kind of unwind and to actually be virtuous without like trying to be
Hmm.
virtuous. You know what I mean? It's not like nature to me. So as much as it should be, like to where you know what I mean, to where I just be like, oh, maybe who knows what could happen if I just apply my will right now and see what's available to me. You know what I mean? Like that's I'm in a place where I'm just like fuck it. I mean, it's me against the world. I'm the enemy of the world. It's what I if shit doesn't matter if I win or lose. I'm the enemy of the world. I don't have to be virtuous. Did nobody, you know what I mean? I'm
Yeah.
external from everyone. So that I feel like for me to be like immersed in like others and like service to life itself, that's what I be fighting. You know what I mean? That's what I have been fighting all my life, and then it's like now trying to or figuring out a way to rewire my responses and use my will more to where I'm not just letting time slip
What?
by because it make me feel safe. You know what I mean? I never felt safe. I think it's because many different things, but like I always felt a little slow. I don't know if it's because of you know genetics compounded with vaccines
Hmm.
and maybe emotional shit. I don't know, but I always felt a little slow. So I always felt like if I'm totally isolated and alone, then I can control
Yeah.
the pace. So I don't have to ever really bring people in because I just can control the pace. You know what I mean? And then like I don't know, and then it's because like I feel like whenever I'll be involved with other people, I would just go so fast because like I was just trying to compensate for not ever wanting to feel like I'm
Hmm.
slow. You know what I mean? So I would just be
But
overly
that also
fast with everything.
goes back to just like how you say, when you're around people, you're not present anyway. So you're going to make them speed up to your pace, right? Because if you're not being present, you're like, why am I even here? Right? You're going to make them speed up to your pace so you can feel like you're in some sense of control, right? Doesn't that kind of go hand in hand?
Yeah, I mean, just not accepting myself and my design. I'm not going to accept anybody else. There's no way, man. You know what I mean? And I don't know if I'm ever going to come to that place. I'm not in. Right now. I'm not. I'm definitely not in that spot where I could say that I'm okay. Like this is. I'm okay with this being the finished product. I think it would have to be a lot more transformation, and I don't know. For me to have confidence in accepting myself completely, to accept others. You know what I
Because
mean?
I'm thinking,
For it to
because
be
a
real.
lot of things you talk about, you say like, which I completely relate. Like why even go to a place if you're not going to be present there because you don't just your presence alone makes people feel a certain way, or you not feeling present there, you know. So what do you think is a way to get over that? Or just not, but then that's a problem too, because then you get so comfortable with being isolated though. It's like a catch-22, because you're like, man, I don't want to be around these people because they don't make me feel like I should be myself. And then I feel my own self when I'm alone. How, where, or what can you do to be around others and be there? Like, is that
Yeah, I think it's wild too. Yeah. I think it's hard too because I think it kind of creates like a dream jail too. Because if you don't have like any injections from other people, then like your reach in your dreams, I feel like is more narrow. It's not like you don't have the same reach. Like if you're welcoming, like if you accept yourself, then like when others flow through, I don't think you can get offended or get defensive. I don't think any of that can happen because you have already accepted yourself. So I think that your reach is just longer. But like I feel like being in isolation, just like mentally, because you could be around other people and still be isolated. But I mean, like mentally being like separated like that, I think it makes your dreams more narrow because you're just only feeding off of your thoughts to make dreams, and then so then the dreams don't really. There's no like, um, you don't have any
yeah, nothing
co-producers,
to
I
go off
guess.
of? I know. I was thinking about that because
Yeah.
I finally had a new dream. Like it was like a current dream about my friend. I was like, damn, I'm caught up, but I'm not. There's nothing really to digest right now. I'm in this like, it's like this stagnation period right now. I don't know if you're feeling. It's like it's very stagnant. I'm like, look, that's why I'm asking you a question about like creating something new. You know, looking forward to something.
Mer- um, Mercury about to
I,
go retrograde in
and
like 3 days,
and then we
right?
about to get fucked up from that too.
Yeah, man. It's gonna be yeah,
Can't
man.
force
Um,
something during a time like, because it doesn't even feel like you're in it. You know what I'm saying? Like your will, like you said, like your will's not even there.
yeah, like it's like I'm not even. I just don't. It's like my will. I've given it up. I've allotted my energy. I guess it's separated my energy from my will in certain respects, and given that energy to somebody else's will. You know, or like a collective
Yeah,
anti-will. I don't know how you want to look at it like that. Like a
yeah.
government, like a government. I guess the
I
government.
look
You
at
know
it
what I
too.
mean? And
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know how, honestly. I not to the fullest. I can't say I got it mastered to where like how to really just let people in. I'm not letting myself inside myself fully. You know what I mean? Like I'm not. I lied to myself to where I don't trust myself, and then like I penetrated myself, like raped myself basically by trying to force things, trying to do things I wasn't prepared for, and jump and skip steps and stuff. And it's like it's
I
a lot to
was
reconcile.
I was thinking about
And uh,
during this time period because like, you know, you talking to different girls or whatever, and I'm like, because you know during this time I don't got the will, I don't got the energy to entertain, but I'm over here being in entertainment, and I'm like, man, what am I even doing? Like I'm trying to get some, you know how you're trying to feel something from somewhere, you're trying to get some external source of
yeah,
energy. You're like, let me be entertainment and see where this goes. And then a moment of you, you're like, man, I don't even, what am I even doing right now? Like you got to take a step back from that. You're like, damn, man, this is, and that's
yeah.
part
With the
when you get to
opposite,
that awareness level where you even know what you're doing is like a waste of time. So you know what I'm saying? You got it.
with the opposite sex, it's really tough because I feel like I can I don't know since I made it so muddy, made things so muddy that I feel like I project. It's like you say when I'm playing chess before we get to the board.
Yeah.
Like wait, I'm projecting years, months, not just days down the road, like years. I can see where it's going, and I don't, because I played. I'm playing these hands before. Like I know if I go this way, she gonna go this way, and if I do this, then she does this, and then I go from here and do this. So I've done that so many times, repeatedly, to where there's no mystery there.
Yeah.
What I mean? I ruined it. I never let life play itself out. I
But
never
but
committed
you know what
fully
that comes
to
from? That
just
comes
being there.
from, you know, the type of childhoods we had and being cancers for real. Like you felt like you had to control the cards, right? Like you feel like to get, that's just how I internalize it. Like, coming up from a traumatic childhood, especially being a Cancer, you know how they can be like narcissistic controlling, right? You controlled the cards. You already knew how this outcome would play, and they fall into the trap every time. And then now you at what? You turned 35, right? No, you turned 34.
Four,
34.
34.
So now you're at this point where you play a card and she plays it. You're like, man, I don't even want to play no more. You already knew she was
Yeah.
that card. You're like, man, I don't want to play no more. This is
Yeah.
too predictable now. So it's like you don't even want to. So then
It's
you
like
ruined
yeah.
your own
It's like
fun.
masturbating and not. Yeah.
You ruined.
Yeah. It's like masturbating and you like you know where it's gonna go. You know where masturbation leads. It's
So
not a
you're just like,
surprise.
man,
You know. You're
and
gonna be
that's
ashamed.
why I said that's that moment, this exact conversation just happened, and I'm just like, man, I gotta just end this because I already know where this is gonna go. It's a waste of time. Like this is pointless. So, but yeah, I think with the opposite sex, I feel like, yeah, like you said, it's just like it's an easy game in a sense of where you're gonna know. But one question I have for you, because I've been, watching your videos for a long time, and what what do you think it is that keeps you going to making content and saying it all? And you already said it all, right? But now you're at a point in your life where you're kind of just verbalizing what realizations you're going through, what's helping you. So what makes you stay on here? What do you think is bringing you on here at this state? You just turning 34. What's bringing? Because let's be real, you said it all already. And at this point, if you don't get it, you're not gonna get
Yeah.
it. So there's no use in you
Yeah.
reiterating what you already said. Maybe in a different way. You know what I mean? Like a different layover. It's just like I was saying earlier. It's like when they tell Hamlet. Like you can tell it with dinosaurs. You can tell it with Lion King. You know what I mean? You can tell it different ways, but it's the same play. So I mean, I feel like as each year you're getting wiser in telling the story. Maybe is that what it is, and maybe you just want to keep shedding your lens on things, like, or your light on things. Like, what do you think is like drawing you to this still?
I think it's kind of like not up to me in some respects because it's like I'm a program in the system,
Yeah, yeah.
and I think that like it's like it's like if there's some souls, you know, real like offspring of the
Yeah.
originator, right? They're gonna have the will to have access to certain knowledge if they start to apply their will and go inside themselves and make the choices in life that bring about revelation. And I just think that me as a tool or a program in this place, like as much as I would like to unplug, it's like kind of impossible because they kind of keep the structure in
Mhm.
place. You know what I mean? Like they're always, it's like if an encyclopedia, it's like it wills itself into existence. It's going to be there because it's like the poet and the poem are like one kind of in a sense. Like the those that are having revelations of themselves, like they have access to
Mhm.
me, and so until like that door closes, that'll be up. I think that they're always going to be able to, if they so choose, be able to reach in and find me because I'm just a placeholder that's here. That's a program that's like, here, you ask for this, you get that. And like, it's kind of beyond it. Like, cause I look at like a lot of the shit that I wrote in my life. And as far as the things that had real substance, like, it's like unconscious, it's really like just the originator working through this program. So like when it has real substance, I mean. And so I think that I don't really have a choice in the access of that. You know what I mean? I don't really have a choice. I think that that's always going to be because it's like the collective will holding it in place. Like my sister, I think people find my sister, they reached a certain level of revelations, and then if they go any deeper, then they find
That's
me,
if.
and then they find themselves. They find themselves. Yeah, but I mean, they might. I don't think I'm the only one. Like I'm the one that's like. I think I do hold some jewels that you have to come to, or you have to come to an extension of me to
Mhm.
get to them. But I feel. I
Hold
do feel
on, let me
like.
just move that. Playing loud music. I'm gonna move. Keep going though.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's what I think. I think it's just like a pressure from this whole system at large that keeps this avenue to where people can reach me as a program, and they can get these jewels that are collective. You know what I mean? That's like it's kind of like in Saudi Arabia in a sense, where like the whole population they get a piece of the oil money. Like it's like if you're Saudi Arabian, you got a passport, you naturally from here, then you get some percentage of this oil money. So like I think that's kind of how it is. Like they all have access. Everybody that's a real person that's not an NPC has access, and then as long as there's this window for them to, figure this stuff out, that I'm gonna have to be available. It's not really I don't really have control over it, and I think that I like, and my will doesn't have to get applied very often. It's just like it's almost like the Akashic records kind of like frozen with the Instagram and the YouTube. It's like held in place kind of like by a thread, and people can come to that and they can remember stuff or whatever. And there's a window now for people to remember it, to whoever's left. I don't know.
There's
And
definitely
generally speaking, I mean,
that
yeah,
window's getting smaller, man. Because like at this point, just
yeah.
speaking of like Akasha Records, like comparing to YouTube, like you know how it was. We talked about this before. Like you can still YouTube and search your name and it pop up. There's gonna be a time in probably 10 years where I'm gonna search your name and you might not pop up. Like the window is closed.
Donald Trump don't pop up
He
right
doesn't.
now.
I didn't even know that.
No, if you search Donald Trump, you get
Nah,
Kamala.
for real?
Yeah.
That's crazy. I did not.
So, yeah, like if you search Donald Trump, they give you Kamala. They won't even autocorrect it. They'll be like Donald Reagan, Donald Duck. They won't even give you Trump as an option.
They're gonna be that.
So if that's possible for him,
If that's
it's possible for
it's
me.
possible for you. I mean, you're already at that point. That's why I feel like. But hold on, that builds off to my next question, and then. But that, like, how does it keep you going if you don't meet many? Because I bet you, how many people come to you, and they still kind of at that NPC level. You know what I mean? And they're kind of doing it superficially, right? How does that keep you going? Because being who you are, you still got to talk to them. You still got to help them out. You still got to, you know what I mean? Like, what does that like almost insult you a little bit? Does that insult you, or how does that take? How do you take it where somebody just comes in and just like is very superficial about wanting to get to know the knowledge or anything like that? Because I feel like that's kind of where you're at right now.
I mean, I think again, I don't really have a choice about who comes. I just think that like, because like I think that the way that the way I get support, the cycles of it, I've seen it as like totally a collective will. It has kind of nothing to do with my personal agenda. I think that like me as a program is like, all right, you're here for this position, and it's like I don't know if you remember in the Matrix when the Asian dude died, and he was like, I fulfilled my purpose. And then he just died or whatever. That's how I be feeling. Like I think as the days go on, I'm gonna see more clearly. Nah. But the last 34 years went like this. So the next 34 could, if they're as fast as the last 34. This shit, I'm already looking at the end.
These years are getting faster and faster, man. They speeding it up something crazy, aren't they? It's something crazy.
Yeah. So. That's what I think, though. I think that like whoever comes, it's like somebody might come now be an NPC, but they support me long enough to get to maybe however long down the road to keep me alive, to keep the program on, to where whoever I do need to meet, they come. It's not even about me and the person right now. It's just about like
you're the architect. You know what I mean? You're like, all right, you the one. Even though it's an NPC, because that's what Neo is, right? He's an NPC. He's tricking them, making them think he want, right? That's basically what you're doing in a sense.
No, I mean, I don't know. I thought Neo was a soul that was just being fed off of.
No,
and then
he is a soul being fed off.
Yeah,
they tricking him into thinking he the one.
Yeah, because when he was at the train station, he ran into that Hindu dude.
Yep.
When he was in purgatory, he was like, because he was like, you're a program. How do you know what love is? How are you going into real life? Because the program was going into real life, and Neo was going into the Matrix. And so I'd be thinking like, I think you can transition, but I feel like, yeah, like ultimately, like I gotta finish out my job. I gotta finish my sentence out. You know what I mean? Just like I'm in this sentence right now, I gotta reflect on everything I did and didn't do, and all the squandering that I did, and things are getting more tight. And it's just gonna get more and more tight until I think then you die, you dead. I think that's it. Like I think that's it. Like you're done with your
I mean,
body. It gets really
I feel like the
precarious.
state you're in right now is definitely better than when you were up isolated for a very long time. Because I feel like you go through these motions. Like when you was doing the comedy and the football. I mean, well, the coaching option presented itself. That's when you were like, all right, man, maybe this life shit ain't bad. That's when you was like, all right, maybe this ain't, it's not too bad. But I think you're now getting back into that narrow, that isolated view.
Well, I think that like it's it's like kind of like the way everything's being pressurized. Like I wake up every day and I'd be like, damn, man, I feel the
Mm.
homesickness, but at the same time, I'm not gonna. I don't want to let this go. I don't want to let this experience go away because this is probably the
Yeah.
last time. So I'm not gonna. I don't want to let it slip. So it's like a combination of those feelings, and then I just be like, all right, I just have to stay right here, right now. As much as I want to be somewhere else, maybe part of me, I might when I get there, I might be like, damn, I could have handled this better when I was there. So I got to do this right now, and so that's kind of like I don't know. I feel like it's not that long of a window. I think I have enough patience to look at it like what it's a 95 days to election day. We're looking at like 125 days to the Brazilian national championship. I
Oh,
think it's really that's
you're
a
on there for
blink.
a whole year? You said,
No, no, until December
oh, December
4th,
4th. Oh,
125 days
125.
till until the the Brazilian national championship. You know what I mean? Like, but I'm looking at it like, yo, I mean, yeah, I hate losing. I want to win. I know, you know what I mean? No matter what, I want to win. I fucking hate losing. I hate losing more than I like winning. You know what I mean? So like, I feel like, I want to win the championship. But if I don't, I'm looking at it like, well, shit, I go, I just go back into what I was already doing that I, did find enjoyment out of, be it my dogs or, I'm going to have to make a stop in Jersey first probably. So I'll be able to be with my family for a moment and, probably Thanksgiving, be around more family and then I'll be home, you know what I mean? Or, if I stay till December, then it'll work out a different way. I'll go home and I'll be home for Christmas and I'll see my dogs and yada, yada, yada. And so it's like, if I lose, I win. If I win, I lose. I don't know. It's so much shit that's like that. You know what I mean? It's shit is so funny how you be looking at shit. Like you look at a game and you just see like the players playing each other, but they all have their own little win and loss
Yeah,
thing personally. Like,
100%.
you know
Each
what I mean?
decision on the
Cause
win or
like,
the loss is crazy. It literally goes to
yeah, cause
the future.
I, yeah, I've been with coaches that I don't like them at all, and I'm like, I don't even want to win for him, And winning is a loss, kind of, because he
Yeah,
gets
because he
a
gets a
win,
win.
and I don't want to. Yeah, so it's funny how like I know it's happening on mad levels like that with people where they like, I really don't want to. I want to. I know I'm gonna leave the Oakland Raiders after the season, but I gotta win this next game because so I can get a better contract. I hate this fucking coach, or I hate this owner, or this GM, but I gotta get this win. And it's a loss though because I don't want them to win. No, I want them to get fired. And you know what I mean? But at this, so it's like so many people. When you look at the wins and losses, it's all tailored. People be losing and winning at the same time so perfectly.
I'm thinking about that with my own life. That's crazy. So what do you think is about to happen,
You
man?
know what I mean?
What do you think is about to happen, man? I was just having that conversation again. I mean, I think you've been calling it. I think the cyber lockdowns are gonna happen. I think it's gonna happen.
They
I
don't
think
have
they're
no
gonna
choice.
do it. I mean,
They don't they don't have no cards to play.
man, it's happening.
What
I don't see a future where it don't happen.
what cards they got to play? They could off Biden if he's not already gone. they could off him and blame it on Trump supporters, and then we off to the races like that. Because if like, I think if they took him out and then blame it on Trump supporters, and then Kamala becomes president, that would be that would be a bad scenario. I mean, I think one way or another, if Trump wins, the 70 some days from election day to
Yeah.
inauguration will be crazy. And
I,
I think that they'll have some type of cyber attack, World War, blame it on Russia, blame the cyber attack on Russia, and go to war. Or you have or you have both cyber attack, the World War, and then the economic meltdown. So it don't matter, Trump get in, and it's like you can't
yeah.
even. He's not going to be able to hedge against that anyway, even if he was totally honest. You know what I mean? Which I don't feel like he
This
is.
this election made me
But
so
yeah,
upset. This is a conversation I want to have. This is something I'll always talk to you about. But this election has made me so upset for us black people. I mean, like all it takes is a rapper to get a vote. Like, yo, are we not embarrassed? Like, you know what I mean? Are we not embarrassed? Like, and you know who actually was talking about that? Dr. Umar. He was saying how they get you to vote individually because they know there's no black consensus. There is no black. Hey, we're all voting for this group, or we're all voting for this. No, it's individual. While every other group is like, nah, we going over here, or we going over here, and it's just like, man, I feel like every time around this year, black people almost get into hysteria. You know what I mean? It gets further division within the black group, which somehow I don't understand, but election every time.
yeah,
How
that's
is it?
even
You know what I'm
possible.
trying to say? Like, how is it even
Yeah,
possible that the election furthers division within the black community even more? It's a question. I'm like, how is this possible? It,
it's such a fractured
it really
community to
is.
begin
That's why
with.
that's
You know what I
vote
mean?
individually. We get you over here. We throw Meg the
Yeah,
Stallion on stage, and that's enough. Like, come on, that's all it takes.
yeah.
That's what it takes.
Nobody remembers what Kamala. Nobody remembers Kamala's speech.
They,
Nobody. Not one person remembers what that bitch had to say. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's the crazy part,
that is the
man. And her pops was from her pops come from
yeah,
a slave owning family that was Irish. You know what I mean? And so
crazy.
it's crazy, bro.
I just,
It's
I
crazy.
just,
Nobody do their research. You
yeah.
see who she
You
married
see who
to?
she married to. That tells you everything about her.
Yeah, I mean, Trump is already financially married, and he's probably part of the
Yeah.
bloodline, in a
I mean,
hidden way. But his kids all married them people.
I feel like no matter what, we know everything's gonna go back to Israel. There's no way around that. And I think
I mean, did you see Did you see this shit in
what
Lebanon?
happened in Lebanon.
Well, they supposedly Israel had some 30 people
Oh,
died,
yeah,
some
yeah, I did
explode.
see that.
Yeah, and so then all the ambassador to Lebanon was like, all Americans should evacuate Lebanon. So I mean, if they go to war with Lebanon, then the whole region is destabilized, and that's just from that alone, the trade is already going to be fucked up. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy, bro. Like, there's no way that we're gonna get out of this smoothly. I don't think they're gonna let this shit go. So, Pharaoh said this shit to me years ago, though. He was like, "Yo, they need to get a certain amount of a certain breed of person." I was still getting high, so I don't really remember. But he said, like, yeah, he was like, they need to get a certain amount. I think he was talking about. I don't think he said Scythians though, and he was saying they need to get a certain type of person here, like import. I don't know if it was Canaanites or who he was trying to say. Like it's a certain kind of person that they want to import into the country. And once we reach a threshold, because everything is math, like everything is numbered. He always into that shit. Like everything's geometry and mathematics and everything. And like again, my brain don't really work that well. Honestly, it's like it's recovering still. So my math is not what it could be. But he was like my crutch in that way. And he always used to be like, yeah, man. I mean, once they reach this certain amount of imports of this person, then we off to the races. And I remember him saying like 2026 will probably be fully off to the races because like like you were saying about the black vote, it's like they harvested the black vote. That was the plantation for such a long time. And then now that that's slipping away, they're just importing votes. So
They
like
are important.
whether yeah, because the more that they get, like if you withdraw, if all the illegals that were counted in the census were removed, then it's 6 congressional seats that would no longer be Democrat because since the illegals get counted in the census, they get counted in the populations. So now you got California got a bigger population, Arizona, wherever they got bigger populations in different places with all these illegals. So if you got more illegals, you get more congressmen. More population, you get more congressmen. So if you get more congressmen, you get more congressional and more electoral votes. So then you can rig the electoral college that way. You know what I mean? So they already knew like we're losing our grip on the Aboriginals. So we have to import, and it's like it's gonna be a threshold that they reach
Isn't it
with
crazy how?
with certain kind of import. And
Um,
what? Yeah.
I gotta drive back to my crib. It's only a minute though. But isn't it crazy how Trump went from, in a sense, build the wall to now he letting them all in to sign for that so that he can get the vote. How is that even happening?
What do you mean?
What isn't he doing that plan where he's backing that they're able to vote, right? Isn't that what he also helped sign?
He was saying that if you get a degree
That,
here, that you
that's
can
what
get citizenship.
he was saying. But isn't that only going
Yeah, he
to
wanted
isn't that only going to further
to.
divide and make the race war happen sooner?
I mean, I just think it's more so like a brain drain. Like after World War II, we got everybody's best
Yeah.
chemists, best everything. So I think he wants to brain drain the world and incentivize people to come here. So like, I mean, I don't think it would be it would probably not be the best for the Aboriginal because Aboriginals generally, I mean, some of them are probably well versed in chemistry, but I feel like largely it just be like Germans, some Africans, some people, some
Yeah.
Asians, people like that. They be more versed in mathematics and chemistry, and so I think that it definitely puts them more the Aboriginal behind the 8 ball even more if you bring in more of those people in to take those jobs. But
What,
at the same time, I
what do you
guess
say?
if you bring in all
Black
of the
jobs.
value,
That
huh?
the black
Yeah,
they all making fun of the black
yeah,
job. They're like, what is
yeah,
a black job? But why is everybody acting dumb? Like, yeah, there's black jobs. I mean, that's just a thing. Like, I feel like I didn't even take offense to that. He just meant like it's taking jobs,
yeah,
black people jobs. Like,
yeah. He was at this thing today called it was called like the Black Journalists uh,
mm,
Convention, and they was trying to he came in and they was just trying to take his head off as soon as he came in there because it was all black journalists, right? And they were like, "What is a black job?" He was like, "Anybody with a job, that
exactly.
job could be a black job."
That's all he
So
meant.
he's like, yeah, yeah.
I just think,
So yeah, I mean, it's such a touchy thing, man. I think that black people should feel disrespected that the left tries to pander to them to their ignorance.
I don't get. But then,
You know
but
what I
then,
mean?
but you know what the craziest thing is that like if you say that, right? Like as a black person, if I say, yo, this is crazy that this is what we accept. They're gonna call me a coon for not accepting that, which is crazy. I'm like, yo, change
Yeah,
we gotta change the definition of what like coon means, like at this point, because if that's what you accept, like I feel like people don't realize that that's what you think a black person is. That you could just put a rapper up on stage and I'm like, oh my god, Kamala is who's got my vote because this, you know, aligns with me. Like that's at the base level we're at right now.
yeah.
What
It's bad, man.
what Kamala said? She said like Quavo. She's like my friend Quavo, and everybody was like, yo, she's trying so hard because she just mentioned Quavo. I'm like, yo, that's where we're at. That's where we're at right now.
It's bad.
Like that's scary to me.
And it's like you like listening to these motherfuckers, right? And you like they talk about like busting a gun and get money and
Yep.
fucking hoes. But this bitch said within 100 days of her administration, she want to go through gun confiscation and gun banning. they won't be able to confiscate guns, but if they ban guns on an executive level, that just makes all the people that own guns
Yep.
criminals without having to actually be criminals. So now you're already a criminal. It's just like how you know before they couldn't pull you over for not
Mm-hmm.
wearing a seatbelt, but now so now if you speeding, then they can pull you over for the speeding and hit you with the seatbelt ticket. It's like so if you talking shit in the public square, then they're like, oh, but you got a gun, you're a criminal. You're a criminal. Now we can arrest you because you was talking shit. And it's like because they already know it's 100 million gun owners, and a lot of them people is black people. I mean, a lot of them people is law-abiding citizens that need to defend their property. So I don't know why, you know what I mean? But she said that like 2 days ago, right? She was like, 100 days into my administration, we're going to
So
confiscate and
what do
ban all the
you
guns.
think if
So
she wins? What do you think happens if she wins? What do you think? Any predictions?
I, I think either way, whoever wins will be Venezuela.
Mm. But why?
I think
What
either
is it
way.
about Venezuela though? Like, there's something that we're missing there.
They don't have guns.
Mm.
Their population is unarmed, disarmed. So like, they got a far left dictator. They've been socialists for what, 30 years now, and it reached a point where there's no more wealth to redistribute. So now they're like, the people are like, now they're openly stealing the election. Now there's no faith in the structure. And so now you reach a point where you're going to have to take the government back probably if they do end up taking it from the dictator, they're going to probably do it in violent ways. So then they kind of become who they hate. And then it's hard. At that point, you spiraling. I don't know how they can ever really come back from it. So you know what I mean? And then you got the U.S. and everybody in the West is going to put more sanctions on Venezuela. So it's just going to cripple the people even more because they like, yo, you stole the election, even though we like the
Right?
dictator. We get to say you stole the election. So now we get to cripple your people even more because Venezuela was the number two most
Yeah.
richest. At the end of World War II, Argentina was the most wealthy country in the West, followed by Venezuela, and then it was USA. And now they both, Argentina had hyperinflation. They collapsed. They had different presidents every week at one point because the hyperinflation got so bad. They just was rotating presidents, so they became a joke. And then now they got Javier Milei, and he's a Zionist. And then you got fucking Venezuela. They just been under dictatorship for at least 30 years under Hugo Chavez, and now this dude Maduro. So that's really what they want for the world, you know what I mean? To create as much civil war and unrest and then try to consolidate that. While we're all fighting, they buying everything up underneath of us. And it's not like it's ever going to reach a point where we just all at once go in. If they're going to do it in pockets
Yeah.
and isolate us to where they can consolidate, you know what I mean? That's the scary part. Because if it ever went to all like, full out, then it's really harder
Mm.
to control us. So they got to do it
That
in
is
pockets. They got
that
to
is
do it
really
in little
yeah.
zones.
So what you thinking for the next?
So I don't know. I don't see
What you thinking for the next 2 years? What's the plan
survival.
then for you then for these next 2 years? Because you've been talking about 2026 and how you just kind of gotta just rock, smooth it out, stay alive in these next 2 years. Because I don't know either. I'm thinking leaving the states as well, getting out of here as well. So I don't know. What you thinking about doing? Bunkering down in Cali, like.
I probably I would probably stay in California as long as I can. But once it gets too bad, I'll probably go to the south, my other place, and just stay there fully. Um, if they buoy up and we get like some reprieve there for a minute, because I've seen some people say 2032 is when the wheels fall off or whatever, but I've never really heard any projection later than 2032. Things really being intact enough, to where it's not Hunger Games fully out here. So
Damn,
I feel like,
when you really like look around, you realize how crazy it really is. I think the only people who don't think it's crazy out here just got blinders on. You know what I mean?
I mean, I talk to Brazilians, right? I was talking to Brazilian women and men. I'm like, so every time I ask people, I meet them, I'm like, what you gonna do by 2030? Where you see yourself? And they're like, I don't know if we're gonna be
That's
alive.
everybody I talk.
You know what I mean?
Everybody I talk to thinks they're gonna be dead
Yeah,
in a couple of years, man. I'm no bullshit. Wait, hold on. I meant to ask you this question
yeah,
about
man.
Germany. So when I was, traveling and everything, a lot of Germans I met said Germany was shitty. They said it's terrible now. They said the people are crazy. They said it's like
Yeah,
it's crazy now. They said it's getting bad. Was it that way? Did you feel that?
Germans.
Did it?
Yeah, Germans are becoming a minority. I think you're fine if you're not German. I think it's worse
Yeah,
for
that's what they said.
Germans.
They said
I think
they
if you
said it's worse.
not if you yeah if you're not a German, it's not bad. You know what I mean? Because if you're a German, you're getting taxed crazy. You working all the time. You're never going to own anything. You got less fucking wealth than
Yeah,
Italians. As far as what you actually own, you in greater debt than the Italians. And it's like, how am I making this much money? I'm in so much debt. Because they're the
yeah,
engine of Europe. They create the central bank is really ran through them. And so like, I feel like Germany, I don't know, they're in a war footing, man. The dude that I was living with there was in the military, and he was saying like by 2029 they prepare for war. They talking about turning all of the subway systems into
mm-hmm.
bunkers, and I feel like he's like high level. He's cybersecurity. This dude like, he's like he's not like a grunt in
Yeah,
the military. You know what I mean? He's like a career dude. You know what I mean? And so I feel like Germany as itself, I mean, there's just so many imports, man. There's so many
yeah,
Muslims, man, and it's reaching a point where it's a cultural divide. They're not doing it in small amounts over time. They're doing so much at once to where they can import all these people, and then they never have to learn German. They never have to talk to nobody. They just suck
yeah,
off the system, and then they can just communicate with each other. So they become kind of like
yeah,
their own. They be like their own city within
yep.
the city. And I feel like, yeah, Germany is in a crazy position. Like as far as like when war breaks out, their base Germany is the battleground from
That,
east to west,
and
basically.
that's what a lot of
And
Germans were telling me. Like
yeah,
they were like, "Yeah, I don't think I'm ever going back to Germany. It's going to be a war ground soon." They said, and the people I had Germans telling me they're like, "If Germany had guns, there'd be war right now."
yeah,
And he said, "If
probably.
like
Same thing
he's
with
saying, like if
France.
citizens had
You know,
guns, it'd be crazy right now."
same thing with France. That's what I mean. France just had their
Yep.
election stolen, July 6th or whatever, because all the elections were going to swing right, and then the people in the middle, it's like 200 people in the parliament. They dropped out of their elections to force it to be either you vote for this extreme right or you vote for this extreme left, and so then they caught people up in that, and then so it gridlocked the situation instead of it having a new regime of power in their parliament. And I feel like it's just that it's gonna reach a point where people realize that you're not gonna vote your way out, and then once that's fully acknowledged, then we are off to the races.
I
I
don't
feel
know how
like.
many years it's going to take though for people to realize that.
I think 95 days,
You think
bro. I
like
think
how is it
yeah. If
like
they
this?
steal it, if they steal it from Trump, if they steal it from Trump, then you got 80 million people, 85 million people that's gonna be like, hell nah, bro. That's just
You know
not
what's
real.
funny?
If they
I had
if Trump wins, the cities are gonna be hard to even
oh yeah,
be
for
in.
sure. Oh for sure. Yo, funny shit. I had people obviously being American, traveling over in Asia. Everybody like want to talk politics or whatever, and every single person was like, Trump, 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 Trump. And I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Like everybody in these Asian countries is like, y'all gotta vote for Trump. Y'all gotta vote for Trump. I'm like, this is crazy. But my thing is, you said 95.
They was
No,
doing
yeah,
better, man.
yeah. I would just my thing is when will no slave class has ever voted themselves out of oppression? Why do people think that's what it's going to take? What is it, because they believe in the system that much? They believe in the system that much. That's what we have to do.
I think people just know they're just in a position where they can't physically act or they be considered terrorists and they go to jail and they got shit they got to take care of, so they're in prison. They can't a lot of people make compromise themselves as far as like who they bred with and where they bred, what time they bred, and the way they manage their finances. You know what I mean? Because they can't do nothing. They can't even act politically like outside of voting. It's been reduced to this phantom vote. You know
that you're
that's
hitting
not going to change
in
anything.
an electronic booth. It's not even going to hit. You hit A, it's
Yeah,
going to hit B. Like, what are we doing? Like, how do you not feel? Like, that's my question with like when you talking to people.
and if you don't vote, they probably
Oh
vote for
yeah,
you.
they 100%. That's the same thing. Like when they said Biden created or more jobs or more people were employed, they were just using the stats from just applying for a job. If you applied for a job online, they said that was a job, or they said more people were employed. They just and
Yeah,
that's why they put up a lot of those Zillows and those Indeeds and everything. They're empty jobs. They just want you to apply, use that data to say, look, people are applying for jobs. People are doing something. That's like, man, nobody. If you,
yeah.
obviously we from Philly, you from Jersey, man. You drive around in those, bro. You see how down bad everybody is. You see how poor and destitute it really is. It's like, man, ain't nobody working. Ain't
I
nobody
mean,
doing nothing.
Kensington, Kensington looks like Sao Paulo, Cracklandia. There's a place called Cracklandia in Sao Paulo. Kensington look
I'm
like
gonna be
that.
so for real. That like, if you drive through Kensington, which I did not that long ago, if you drive through Kensington, there's no way in your mind that you should say that this shouldn't be illegal. Like this should have been fixed forever. Like this shouldn't have even started. And the fact that you can just drive through Kensington, the police are watching people die on the streets. They don't care. The police are like, oh, he OD'd. You know what I mean? Like they don't care. What are they gonna do? They're like he helped
Yeah.
us out.
Yeah, it's just like the FBI stopped reporting the
Oh
the
yeah,
crime statistics, so they're like crime is
they don't
down
report.
because we don't report it no more,
I
so it's
just don't
down.
get like it's like how about this? It's like as much as I know it's all a game, right? We both know it's a game. We both know both candidates are puppets at the end of the day. It's just like it still makes you upset and mad that like this is where we're at. Like you're like, yo, for real, like ain't nobody like you just looking around
Yeah,
like,
I mean that's how I feel. That's how I feel about this shit. Like when people was like talking about Kendrick and
this
Drake,
is
I'm like, this is what we talking
bro. We
about.
talking about
This is what we talking about. We talking about
15-year
Kendrick
old
and Drake
rappers.
and Trump and Biden, Trump and Kamala. This what we
This is
talking
what we
about.
talking about.
We like that's the problem. I don't think you ever really have a problem with the person like that's the puppet. You like,
Yeah,
how are y'all following
I think
this? The
yeah.
population is
When
yeah,
they was doing the Kendrick the Drake beef, I'm just like, this is where we're at. We talking about 50. We're not talking about no new. And this is something you talked about before. Like new rap, like new music, new movies. Like that tells you where somebody's mindset is. That's how stagnant as a culture we are. We arguing about 15-year-old rappers because there's no new rappers anybody's listening to. There's no new rapper that's taking the Drake spot or the Kendrick spot, or we're just still stuck in the stagnant. We listen to 15-year-old rap. We watch it. Look, they remaking old movies. We're not gonna watch a new movie. You're gonna watch the 16th Star Wars. It's over. You know what I mean? This is
yeah,
it.
yeah. Everything is bottoming out, man. And I feel like the rappers are all assembly line to where they. I mean, and they're all crabs in a bucket, and then they're gonna
Yeah,
kill each other.
it is.
None of them is ever gonna really last 15 years. Drake and Kendrick's like
But
the
like,
last ones that could. That generation is kind of like the
yep,
last ones that could live that long.
that
Motherfuckers gonna
it's
die.
it's
You know what I mean?
it. I don't know how people like aren't. You said going back to if I was a black person, I'd be offended. But this is almost in the same sense. Like if you are a human being right now, how are you not offended? Like we're doing the same debate. We're doing the same rappers from old. We're doing the same movies. It's like they gave up on the. It's almost like we gave up on the future and we trying to recreate the past. You know what I mean? Let's just recreate the past without even trying to see what the future looks like. And honestly, every person you talk to nowadays is stuck in the past too. They don't even want to go. They don't even want to. They don't
Yeah,
even want to. I think you talked about it yourself. They don't even want to write. I think you made an analogy of like, you writing this story, right? And they're stuck in the first 10 chapters. It feels like every person you talk to now doesn't even want to go past them 10 chapters. They're fine. So when Taylor, you go, yo, Brandon, I just got the green light to make Terminator 10. Everybody gonna be happy. either Terminator 10, like that's what they want. They don't want to go. They don't want a new series. They don't want a new anything. They just want the old to make themselves feel comfortable, safe. Like I don't even know how you gonna knock them out of this. That's kind of why I asked that question. Like, how do you keep going? Like, I feels like everybody's stuck.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just reaching a threshold of ignorance that, we just waiting for the
No,
power to go out.
you're right.
And then once the power goes out, I mean, I think half the population,
Seventy
it's
percent.
really like people think that they can escape. Yeah, I don't really think we can escape the power, the shit for the world. Because if America goes down, that's, 12 to 15% of all the oil in the
Mm-hmm.
world. So the price of oil going fucking skyrocket. You know what I mean? Because then the other people can name their price. Russia and Saudi Arabia can name their price. You know what I mean? Because they like, well, shit. Well, I can produce this
Yeah.
shit, so I determine the price. So the price will go up. So everybody's power and food will
Mm-hmm.
go up. So I mean, I don't think America can go down without a chain reaction of everybody's utilities going up and their food going up. America's the biggest producer of food, the biggest producer of
Mm-hmm.
oil. I don't think you can really go nowhere and just not be affected unless you are heavily insulated with all types of currencies and like, gold, silver, commodities, land. If you're not like heavily insulated, you're gonna be affected in some way. Some people more than others. I think but you're not gonna just be
Mm-hmm.
unaffected unless you
Yeah.
got yachts or some shit.
I just think. I think for everybody, I talk about this too. I feel like everybody's just kind of waiting for the end, so nobody wants to try to do something new, because I feel like it feels like honestly the earth, the world, everybody you meet is just like waiting for it to end, and they're just kind of dragging it on and doing it like you said, slowly, controlled. Everybody, I feel like every person I talk to is like they kind of gave up, they kind of threw in the towel. It's over. They're just waiting for it to be over.
Yeah, I see people. Yeah, I see people all the time. Like, yo, I'm about to. They just getting involved in debt that they know they'll never see the other side of. Just because right now they'll have it. They get a condo, or they'll get a house, or they'll get a vehicle. Like, yeah, this does not make no sense
Right?
for your budget or your
That's
energy. But I guess
it.
it does.
Yes, it
I guess it
does. It
makes
does.
sense if you like not looking to ever see the
Yeah.
other side of it.
Tell you, I don't know if I remember I told you this, but I remember I was in class, obviously. I'm teaching the class. This is right before, I never forget this. This is right before Thanksgiving break. It was the day before Thanksgiving break. And I was just like, man, I can't, like the energy was so bad. And I was like, I mean, let me just ask them because I know the kids feel it. I said, do y'all all think the world's like ending? Like, do you think this is over? And every single kid, no bullshit, every single kid in the classroom said, I don't think I will graduate high school. Like, we'll be dead by senior year. That's what 10th graders are telling me. How insane is that? That they can feel that and they
What
can
that?
verbalize
Yeah.
that they. And then I said, but what happens if you still what happens if you're still alive? Senior year you graduate. They're like, ah, shit. I guess I'll figure something out. I'm like, damn, like that's how bad the feeling is that I'm in classroom.
What does that do to the body on a metabolic level though? The stress that a kid has to somehow live around. I don't. That's
And that's
crazy.
what I'm trying, and that's what I'm up against. I think about it, and the reason why I could be asking questions is I'm like, I'm thinking about it where I'm teaching 10th graders, and they think the world's gonna be over by the time they graduate. All my classes thinking the same way, like so the environment. You already know what the environment feels like. It feels like you walking in there like, God damn, like this feels like
Yeah, yeah, man, yeah. And for me, man, I'm looking at it the kind of similar too, where I'm just like, all right, I'm done playing. I'm not. I'm probably. I don't know if I'm ever going to travel
yeah.
again.
But
I'm gonna, you know what I mean? Like this, like my life is kind of over. Like I have a life that I live that's kind of over in some respect. Now it's just like survival and rolling with the punches.
and you know what the problem is? I feel the same way, but like I'm trying to fight that feeling as well. Cause like, so like when I told you I'm gonna go overseas and teach overseas, right? I'm doing that in hopes to maybe escape this American life for a little bit, save up some coin, so then I can come back and I have something here. You know what I'm saying? So I can get a little plot of land, and I'm hoping to maybe have something for the future. But it doesn't feel. But at the same time, there's a part of me that's like, yo, why don't you just sell everything, go over there, and just stay over there? And the dollars, your USD is so much more. Be able to live off and just chill forever. But like, I'm trying to fight that feeling though.
Yeah. I think everything's just gonna be in blocks, man. Like you have that Chinese block, and then you have like the Indian block,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have like, well, see that, but then and then it's gonna be conflict between blocks because you had like that Middle Eastern bloc because Pakistan and India have been wanting to kill each other
Yeah,
for years since they was one country. Now, so you have like that Middle Eastern, but the Middle Eastern bloc is split because you got the Shia and the Sunnis, like
yeah.
what I mean, the Turkish is
The
what
Muslim. Oh
they
well,
Sunni, right? But
they
then
are.
the are they Shia? And then the fucking Iranians, I think, are Shia, or it's the other way
Yeah.
around. I forget, but they're not. That's the only thing that separates the Middle East from being totally
And then
one
on top of that,
caliphate. It's
China's
because
putting their
it's
hands in
yeah,
there. You got Russia putting their hands in there because they all want to be involved. Because you remember they said they wanted to build that. Was it Russia or China that said they wanted to build that train? Who
yeah,
was it?
and Sith, but yeah, the Belt and Road Initiative is
Oh, it was
China,
China.
but I'm saying like they all went. Yeah, that was how they could even go into Syria and
Yeah.
destabilize because you had the Shia and the Sunnis, and they split it apart, and that's how Syria got split apart with the civil war, and that's I mean everything is they split people. I think religious war is the is it supersedes
Yeah.
even color, like because some there's black ass
Yeah.
motherfuckers and white ass motherfuckers that will
Oh,
pray to the same God. You know what I mean? So I think,
them white
yeah.
Muslims.
So I think that, yeah, man. Some of the most, yeah, hell yeah, bro. And even though the one Muslim motherfucker, the Russian dude,
Yeah, the
the
UFC
UFC dude,
dude.
he lost to the
Yeah, yo,
Brazilian, and
that's
they stole it from the Brazilian dude. Yo, the Brazilian dude whooped his motherfucking ass, man. That's crazy. But he is crazy though. That dude is
crazy.
nasty though. Them white
They
Muslims
are
is nuts,
different. They
bro.
are a different breed.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I don't know. So yeah, I think it'll just be in blocks. You know what I mean? You have China, Russia, Middle East will be split into
Mhm.
two. The Indian bloc. You have you probably have a South American communist bloc, North American communist bloc, North American like fascistic capitalist bloc, South American fascistic capitalist bloc, and then I think it'll just be regional like class warfare and ideological wars. I think from there to consolidate power further because I don't know. I think that the country at this point is totally on a planned
Yeah,
implosion, and I don't know if any.
you're
Yeah,
right. I think there's a part of me that just like wants to fight that. You know what I mean? Fight that feeling, even though you already feel it. You know what I mean? I feel like you already like almost in a sense like how you process before you go on to play football. It's the same thing. It's like you already can kind of feel where this is going, and you're kind of like having to cope.
I mean, you look at it like Brazil, they got their elections stolen, and a openly
Mm-hmm.
communist leader took over. You know what I mean? And then you got Argentina's leader, openly Zionist. Then you got the Venezuela shit just happened. You know what I mean? The openly communist dictator, like I'm not leaving power. Ecuador, they fucking the the dude that was gonna win president got fucking killed. He got
He did get a second.
assassinated. And then yeah, then Peru's government collapsed, and the president had to run away to
Remember
Mexico.
that?
So I mean, and then Mexico, their president now is a woman, openly Zionist woman. So I don't. I feel like if you're just looking at the trend as far as politically, like I don't see us winning on a political level. I think it would have to be like have to figure out some other way. You know what I mean? I have to really cultivate some type of metaphysical system of unification because it's spiritual warfare.
It is.
Ultimately, it's going to be divided by
It's spirit.
religions.
Yeah, they're definitely gonna do religion warfare next.
Religion's gonna get. I think religion's gonna because you probably got a million fucking uh, between the Chinese and the Middle Easterners. You probably got a million motherfuckers ready to just be
Yeah.
activated and just wreak havoc. You know what I mean? At any point with the open border, any point that could kick off, and so then we're off to the races. I think. I mean, say that if the Trump shooting was real, say he would have got shot. If he gets shot, then all they got to do is attack themselves and blame it on. They say, "Oh, Trump got killed," so then people ran truck bombs into these black colleges or wherever, and then we off to the races. You know what I mean? So
That
I
would have been
think that's how, huh?
no, that would have been crazy if they did that way. They should have just did that way.
Yeah, that's what I think. That's what we're not far from that because that's looks like that was what was being set up.
Because I'm waiting. We've been
You know what I mean? Because then they can say, "Oh, look how they retaliated. Look how they retaliated," and then they gonna retaliate, and it's back and forth.
I just feel like we've been waiting for this race war to happen for so long that like I feel like even they kind of moved on. Like I don't even know what they could do to get that race war really popping anymore.
I don't know. I think it's just gonna all come down to the the Palestinian
Yeah,
thing, Zionist versus Zionist versus non-Zionist, Palestine versus the Zionists. I think you're gonna have the hard left going being pro-Palestine. The hard right don't like the Zionists either, though. Like on the
but then
ground level,
that's why it's crazy.
hard right, yeah,
You know, both our
yeah.
presidents are Zionists in the beginning anyway, so that shit don't make no sense anyway to me.
I don't get it. I don't know how people think like, oh, he's just like soft core
No, he
Zionist.
fool. He.
I don't know.
I don't get it. That's what I'm saying. Like, where does detachment come from?
It's like it's like Charleston White said. He was like, look, if I have a daughter, she better not bring no pink dicks home. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Try, you know, and I feel like Trump. How do all your kids
Mm-hmm.
marry these people?
All of
All
them.
of them. You know what I mean? How is Donald Trump's Jr.'s wife Gavin Newsom's ex-wife? How is that? The governor of California's ex-wife is Donald Trump Jr.'s. How did you not get a different bitch from some other circle? Why'd you fuck with this? What makes me feel like y'all all cool.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
y'all all the
They're
same
all in the same
circle.
circle. It's all
Yeah,
in the same circle. It's all a game. But hold on. But I think that's what it is. I think it comes to the point where if you, I don't think anybody can detach from the system because once they realize it's a game, bro, then you're in free fall, then you're in limbo, and then you're scared, and then you're gonna go right back to what's comfortable.
yeah.
Man,
I think when you come to when you go to other countries, you can see how fake the money is.
that's when you really go. You
Money's
go this shit.
money's fake.
This all this is you because you be in these other countries like they poor as hell. This shit don't make no sense. They can't even afford their own shit. This is fake.
Yeah, like so you telling me $10 is $50
$10,
here, fifty
but
five
then they
dollars
can't
here?
even afford to own like I'm like this. I was really had that whole thought when I was in Vietnam where I'm watching people struggle, right? And same with Cambodia, but they own their own business. So how'd you get that business if you can't even afford your
Yeah,
pay
yeah,
for it?
man.
Yo, we
It's,
just need you to open up the store. We'll give you a little salary or something. That's what it all is. It's all fake on that level.
bruh, did you ever ask anybody about the killing fields, the communist Cambodian
So
killing fields?
I did talk about it. Wait, so I will tell you a scary fact though. So when I was learning about it and I was having a conversation, I had a lot of. I mean, it was a very depressing place, man. I mean, Cambodia was so depressing. Um, I couldn't tell you how many times people asked me since I was from America, "Are you happy?" Because they thought because I came from somewhere wealthy that would automatically equate to happiness, and then so I couldn't even answer the question. You know what I mean? Because if I say yeah, I'm happy, I'm in America, then they're gonna be like, I knew it. But if I say no, they're gonna be like, you're ungrateful because you live in America, you should be happy. You know what I mean? And but one thing
Yeah,
that stuck out to me was that because of the killing fields and all the murders that happened, you know, one person that even told me like the older population doesn't exist there. they've been wiped out. There is no young. Listen, the oldest people that you would see are our age. I'm not bullshitting you. You would not see old people because the population was wiped
Because
out. It
they
was
it,
it,
like 20% of the motherfuckers
and
was
hold
just wiped.
on, and then
Yeah,
hold on. Even the crazier thing is, one of the ladies was telling me that she said if you do see somebody old, they probably was doing the killings, and that's why nobody. And she
that's
said that's
crazy.
why they're either homeless and no one talks to them because they were probably the ones who, to survive, killed others. And I was like, this is crazy. And I'm telling you, you would not see old people. You would
Yeah,
not. It was like, I'm telling you, it would be people like our age, like 30 to 40, with kids. And the kids weren't even like,
yeah.
there was no, like, you didn't really see teenagers. It was kids.
That's what communism does. That's what communism does. You pray to the state, they
Yep.
kill off all the old people, so there's no
Yep. It's
leadership,
100% what it is.
and then yeah, that's what it does. Yeah, yeah, that's crazy. Because I remember watching this video about it, this documentary, and it was like they were telling people like, go to this school, it's safe. Go to this hospital, it's safe. And then the government would just
Yep.
bomb that shit
So
once it
so
get
I
loaded with
did
people.
go to some
And
places. I did go to some places, and it was just crazy how like that mind shit is real. I couldn't tell you how many people I seen that didn't have a leg or two, like because their minds are still everywhere from from the regime and the war. I
damn,
couldn't tell you how many people I saw with no legs.
yeah,
I'm not even bullshitting. I was like, damn, this shit really like this shit is really real. Like, cause how sometimes you be like, did that history really happen? And then you go there and then you're like, and then I'm like, damn, this shit really happened.
that shit that shit was like '79. That's not that
Man, that
long
wasn't even
ago.
that long ago. So I'm sitting, but I'm no bullshit. I'm driving everywhere. There's not an old person in sight. Not an old person. All the
That's
old
sad, man.
people. The kids are kids. There's nobody. There's no like a bunch of teenagers now because it's the 40 and the 30-year-olds who have the kids now. So they're young. So there's just like this missing.
That's crazy.
There's just two missing age groups, and you can feel the depression. I'm not even joking. It was like everybody was sad. Everybody was miserable. It was probably one of the most depressing places I've ever been. I'm not gonna lie. I can't even lie to you.
That's
But
crazy.
I loved
You
it
know,
though.
it's mad Westerners that probably went. Yeah, I'm sure. But it's mad Westerners that didn't do no research and they just went and it was like, look at these nice structures
Nah, there
here.
was. There was. Actually, what's so funny? What's so funny? All the people I met, they were really trying to go to Laos, so they were going to Thailand and Laos, but they were like, oh, Cambodia is here, and you can take the bus to Laos. So everybody was like, I'll just do this stop in Cambodia. I don't even know what it is. No one, every single person I talked to had no idea what Cambodia was because they were just trying to go to Laos and go to Thailand. I'm like, yo, y'all are in a, and I would be asking them. I'd be like, I have a conversation with somebody. I'm like, yeah, man, this place is so depressing. They're like, you think so? I go, you you don't see all these homeless people, nobody eating, nobody got, you don't see this? Like, I'd be like, yo, we're really
Yeah,
at a different
nah,
consciousness level when people don't even realize their surroundings. They have such blinders on. Like, I bet you that to go back
you gotta be
when you
grateful, man.
go back to that Kensington point, like there's people like in Philly who are like, it's not that bad. And then like Philly's a war zone. Kensington's, like why would you want to go to Kensington? It's like, what reality are you living in that you don't think Philly's an absolute shithole right now? You know what I'm saying? Like what reality
Yeah,
are you living in?
yeah. 1,000 people killed in the last 500 days. That's
It's
crazy, bro. I
crazy.
mean, Philly
But
is bad, bro. Philly is just as bad as anywhere on earth. That's
that's bad.
bad.
I felt more and this you could speak to this
Yeah.
because you've traveled everywhere. I feel safer overseas than I do in Philly.
Oh yeah, yeah. I definitely do. I mean, as long as the structure is the way it is now, for sure, I definitely feel safer in every other country
You
but
know,
America. You know
Jersey,
what I mean? For the most part,
Jersey,
like
how it is.
maybe South
Yeah,
Africa,
yeah.
Honduras, parts of Brazil.
What
I
was
could
that
see
like?
how you just be like, okay, this is just as
What was
bad.
that feeling when you
What?
was in South Africa?
That's the most
Yeah.
dangerous place I think I've ever been.
Could you feel the danger? Like when you
Yeah, I
was
think
walking
so.
around, could you feel it? You know what I'm talking about? Like when you were in like
Yeah, I feel like
when you
I feel like
walking around.
yeah. It's like 30,000 Brooklyns.
Wait, what'd you say now?
It's Brooklyn it's like Brooklyn on steroids, like 30,000 Brooklyn in like
Mm.
'88 on
Head on a
steroids.
swivel at all times.
You know what I
You're
mean?
like this, just the whole time.
Yeah, exactly. Like you don't want to. I don't want to ask no questions. I'm glad they speak English, but I don't want to even
You
talk to
can't even look,
nobody. I don't even want to let
especially
nobody know where I'm
don't
from.
make eye contact. Like,
No,
don't make eye contact with somebody because that
no.
has an invite to
Yeah,
try you.
yeah. I mean, and everything, and all the hotels had like barbed wire, razor wire around them and shit. It was bad, man. I don't know. Yeah, so I don't. I feel like South Africa probably is the
And
most dangerous spot. I mean,
I,
that's because their
when,
apartheid was
when did you
94,
go? What year did you go?
2012.
2012. And you would think
So that's only 18 years after apartheid. So I think maybe it's
I
just
don't
not. It
think it's
just
still bad.
it's
I
too
don't think it's
close.
still good.
It's
I never
worse.
noticed.
They say it's worse. They say it's
Yeah, they say it's worse.
they say it's
Yeah,
worse. The people I know there now. So I don't know. I don't want. Yeah, I don't even want to go back. That's what I mean. At least in America, if shit pop off, you got guns. Like if you be in some other country, you be in like a Cambodia where you like fuck, bro. If they decide to go turn on us, what can we
yeah.
do? Like as long as there's a trust thing there and they're not abusing that trust, then yeah, I want to be anywhere but America. But if it ever goes sideways, America's like the only place where you can at least like defend yourself, man. Shit, the Afghanis fucking defended themselves for 20 some years and held it down just because they had access to weapons.
That is true.
They ran America bitch ass up out of there because you know what I mean. Honestly, with just pajama pants and
Oh, and you,
AK-47s.
that's you talking about that. You talking about that?
Yeah,
Shane, what's his name? What he's talking about? He said that's more honorable, bro. He said being out there in your PJs throwing rocks at the
yeah,
tanks. He's like,
yeah. Yeah, I mean,
that shit was hilarious.
yeah, they just got God. They got God
A
pajama
rock
pants,
and a rock. That's
AK-47s,
all.
and
Like, maybe
yeah,
a crock
that's
or two. They could throw
it.
the crock at the hit him in his head.
Yeah, man. I don't know, man. So yeah, I don't know. I don't really have any good news in the forecast because there's going to be so much deception that I can't even really be firm about what exactly is going to happen. I just know
And
it's going to be a lot of
and
deception.
and then and then on top of that deception, I mean, I'm gonna be honest, man. We watch reels just like, bro. I'm gonna be honest. At this point, I don't know. AI has gotten so good, man. I don't even know if they could half these reels be fake. Just AI reels. They can fake anything. They can tell you it's. We don't even at this point. And
You ever see that? You ever seen that movie
you
Cam
talking
Girl? I think
about the
it's
is it
called,
Cam Girl? I don't think I know, but I think I know what you're talking about. But I
or
don't
is it or is it called Cam? Might be called Cam or something like that. I don't know, but like the chick, she's like a
okay.
OnlyFans chick, and she does
Mm-hmm.
live videos, and then somehow she gets locked out of her account, but the account's still doing videos, and she's like, "Yo, somebody look just like me doing video," and she don't know, and she's trying to get her identity back because the bitch on the account doing wild stuff, and I mean, and she get mad followers. She get mad followers, so she's like, "Damn, people gonna think this is me,"
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And so I think that, yeah, I mean, it's kind of like the Black Mirror thing, but
The
yeah,
Al Pacino movie. What's the Al Pacino movie where he got like the hologram chick and she's starring in movies? Is that Tony? Simone?
Simone or
Oh,
what was it? Simone?
is that
Was
that
this
sounds right? You know what
was,
I'm talking
was it
about, right?
Simone or
Where
was it
he gets her to do all these movies, the
Yeah, I
music,
know.
fake
Yeah, I
a
know what
whole
you're talking about.
live
Yeah,
performance. Bro,
yeah,
that's really what's happening now. They can fake a whole live performance to even there.
or
Not even real.
yeah, it's either Simone or
It's
Sophia. I think it's Simone, but it might
a
be
mix. That's
Sophia. But yeah, yeah, man, yeah, that joint, yeah, it's where it's at, bro. It's where we at. And then the chicks are so fake that you can't even blame dudes. You know what I mean? Like the average dude coming up now, he like, man, these chicks got fake lips, fake titties, fake ass. It ain't really no fake asses here though. It's some fake titties out here, but it's enough. It's enough natural asses here. You don't need that
they
here.
you know what's so funny? I saw they're getting these fake everything as if they're gonna give it to their kids. No, your kid gonna be ugly.
Yeah,
Like, your kid gonna be ugly.
exactly.
And then look, they gonna
Yeah,
come out being like, "Why is my kid ugly?" Because you ugly. Like,
yeah, but your kid ain't come out with the nose job, but you
what are you
thought
doing? They didn't come out with
it's
the tail.
crazy.
Like, what's wrong with you? It's crazy.
It's bad. That's where we at,
That's where we're at.
man.
It's sad. That's why I had to chop it up with you. I'm glad we got to chop it up because I knew, you know, what you've been on, and obviously it's your birthday month, and that puts every time a birthday comes around, it puts you in great reflection. You know, you just be in that like, damn. You know what I'm saying? That
Yeah,
birthday hits like a truck,
yeah.
man. You be like,
I
damn.
understand. Yeah. I understand why people stop playing things and doing things at a certain age, because like it's not even about like you can compete and you could still be great, but you just like in your own mind you be like, man, I could do this
Yeah.
so much better before, even if it's just a little bit, even if it's not even really that much better. It's just that you know it could be better, and like I think as like mentally it's hard to like battle with yourself like that, where you just like I know I could do this, I could take over this play years ago, but now I'm like I'm deferring to other people more often to let them handle the plays, and I'm like, man, I just don't have the battery for it like I used to. Like I can make plays and I can take over, but it's just not as many times. I could do it consistently over and over again. Now I'm just like, shit, somebody else got to make a play. I feel like LeBron, man. I'm getting
Mm.
grays in my beard.
You got any more topics you want to talk about? Anything else you wanted to say?
Uh, nah, man. I mean, I guess I'm just keeping it simple, man. Like, how I already feel about like I guess everything, man. Opposite sex is
That's the
tough.
last.
All that shit's tough. Based on this, there's no real, yeah, there's nothing to really, I can't really relax. I can't really settle because, I don't really, there's nothing, everything is too fluid right now. I feel like in life, there's no real firm ground to stand on. I just think I have to be, an individual, the best individual I can be because it's almost like World War II. Like everybody just had to wait till the bombs drop, till the shit's done, they stop dropping, and then they have a baby boom or something or whatever. They settle down and they can kind of live out their days. But right now, I feel like I don't know. It's hard to even think about it. To even think about bringing somebody into my life or going into somebody else's life, marrying into their family or vice versa. It just seems like a lot right now with all these moving parts.
It's not only
It's
part of it is
crazy.
just uncertainty, right? You don't even know.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
I don't know what's gonna happen in a couple of years. So how am I supposed to know what's gonna happen with us? Like I don't even know.
yeah.
Are we gonna be able to last? Gonna
I mean,
happen.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
I guess, yeah, I guess if you endure through this period, then I guess that's
Yeah,
that's the one. But at the same time, it's like, am I making a selection because I'm in
yeah.
desperation mode?
That's something I was thinking about too. Actually, is like now more than ever, how you meet somebody is so important. Like, what are the odds you're gonna meet a woman in person? She's, I don't know. Let's say she's fasting. She's doing breath work. She's doing, you know what I mean? Like, what are the odds you meet her in person and you meet on that like that same level? Or the other level is you're gonna meet a chick out, and then right there, that's step one is entertainment, and then next thing you know, she's gonna expect entertainment from you. And like I feel like how you meet is just like how you set the standard of things. And I don't even know if, like you said, if women right now, I feel like all they want is entertainment right now. That seems like all they want. So I don't even.
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, a dude is just like a protein shake. You just fucking eat that motherfucker alive, consume him, and you know what I mean. And the same thing. That's kind of how dudes are, I guess, at some level. Just crack a bitch open. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Throw back a six pack of
no, you're
bitches.
not wrong.
You know
I
what I
was
mean?
just thinking like I'm like, damn man, what's the odds I can really like get a chick to just come down to my level? Because I think you talked about it too. Like, I mean, there's only three types of dudes, right? You said it yourself. A dude who has time, right? A dude who has time, or a dude who has power and money, right? Who can buy you all those things. He can have both, but he's going to be away and just buying you things. But then what comes with that Like, I don't even think the dude a girl wants to do with time anymore. They don't want to do with time. I don't think they do. That's all I got for you. I don't got the money. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah. I mean, I don't think. Yeah, I mean, I don't think people necessarily really want to be seen. That's what the whole social media thing is. Is like, look at this shit. Don't look at the actual me. So I think people don't want to be seen. So I think it kind of works out for the people like that if they want to just have a sugar daddy or somebody that's just
right, you
a
lagged
human
out?
wallet. Because that person never really, huh?
No, I thought you lagged for a second.
Oh yeah, this person's like a human wallet. They'll never
Oh
really
yeah,
see the person. So I think people like to be with they like to be with people that will never really see them, people they can hide inside themselves with. So because I think that's why I've seen, at least in myself, I feel like since social media was like, I don't really want to be seen actually. I'll give
yeah.
you you give my curated self.
I mean, I say
Yeah.
this. I say this every time I'm out, man. You look at every time you see a happy couple, it's a boyfriend and girlfriend, right? Because it's that fake, that fake performative intimacy, right, as you would say, right? And then they in them stages. But then every time you see a married couple, that dude's never happy. It's a broken man. He looks broken. He looks,
Yeah.
he looks like he's about to
Yeah. Yeah.
away any day now. Like they could be 40, they could be
Yeah.
40, and he looks like he's like about to keel over, man. I'm like, yo, how does he look so bad right now? She just beat him into submission.
I mean,
She beat him into submission.
Patrice said it, man. A happy woman is a
A
miserable man.
happy woman is a miserable man. It's you see it though. Every single time I see a dude, I never forget. We was traveling, right? We was going to New York, and there was this dad right on the train. He was lugging all the luggage, and we made a sly joke like, "Man, you super dad," and he went like it was like he knew that we were being sarcastic, and he was like I can't believe I chose this life. He was like about to eat his food. She's like, "Are you eating? Are you
Yeah.
eating yet?" He's like, he put the food back down. That's how much, you know what I mean? Like he's like, "Man, I don't even want to eat this. This bitch controlling every move I make." Like,
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Like, you got to really control how you bust nuts. I really feel like I wish I could have been a virgin
nah, Richard.
to 30. I wish I could have did it. I wish I could have been a virgin till now. I wish I could have. I wish I never gave a bitch shit, honestly, because they was all bitches, man, mostly. You know what I mean? For the
Come on.
most part, bitches. So, because I wasn't really fully a man and
Mm.
fully myself.
Yeah,
What the fuck I'm gonna give them everything for? Bust a nut with a random bitch or even a bitch I know a little bit. It's crazy. I wish I was a virgin till now, to be honest. If I was a virgin till now, I would definitely not be. I wouldn't have been drunk and high. I know
that
that.
is true.
I might have tried it. I might have tried it, but it wouldn't have been my. It would have never been regular.
That's where we at, man. That's where we at,
Yeah.
man. Look, we
Yeah.
summing it up. This is crazy. I'm telling you, next time you see look,
Yeah. I hate to be. I hate
no,
to.
what you
Yeah.
about to say? You hate to be what?
I hate to be so judgmental on myself because it spills over into me judging all of them. But I think I have to be honest in that way. In that way, I think that my whole life would be
Now,
different. But I guess it would have to be.
you know what something, I don't know if you said it or a thought inspired by something you said was, you know, when people align with that fake, the fake curated self, they get mad at you when you recognize it within them. Like, why are you attacking me even because I'm trying to lie like to myself and you bringing it out of me. Like, and that's where we're at. Like, I don't even know.
It's like somebody. It's like somebody standing up in a theater in front of your view of the theater.
It's like, yeah, you got to address that. You got to address that person, but they don't want to. They'll rather sit there and be blind. They're like, you know what, this movie not that bad. I'll watch it another time. Like, like what are we doing? Like,
Yeah, yeah. Now I was saying like people get mad at you because they're like, "Yo, stop! You're getting in the way of my
yeah,
movie. I'm trying to be my
like
curated self."
what are we doing though? Like, and it's so funny because but they don't realize that you can recognize that within them because you recognized it within yourself. You're not attacking them. You're just saying, yo, be honest with yourself because I've also been through that. That's all you're saying. But they get into defense mode.
Yeah,
They get into victim
yeah,
mode and defense mode just because you're saying, yo, I recognize that too. We went through the same thing, but, you know, people want to individualize their
I think
trauma
you can, yeah,
and their pain. So I'm different from you. No, you're not. We went through the same thing. It's the same. It's the same shit, just repackaged.
yeah. I think people just like to own pain, like they don't have a monopoly
That,
on it, and then they
yep.
can control it and define it. But then I feel like if you stimulate, then you might never get tired of lying. Like, as if you pacify with
True.
drugs, then you'd be like, all right, I'll just accept this right now. Or if you stimulating with stimulants, then you whatever what I mean, another uppers or downers, you like, oh, I'm not really tired, and then you never really acknowledge like, yeah, you
Mm-hmm.
tired of
Yeah.
lying. You need
Yeah.
to chill. But if you never
Mm.
stop, then you're gonna just keep lying.
I, one analogy I had with my friend is we was talking, right, and I told you like my sister passed, and we had all different types of trauma, right, and he didn't have any deaths in his family, right, but the way his trauma took place and stuff, it's the same as if somebody would have died anyway. I'm like, it just played out differently. And I'm saying, and people getting defensive over at the end of the day, your family's still fucked up. Like, why are you getting mad that your family? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like prime example, yours, right? Your family's fucked up too. Like people are getting mad, like you said, a monopoly over. But at the end result is, yo, if all our families are fucked up, what does it matter that this is the end result? It just looked different. Why you know what I'm saying? Like if it looks different, you shouldn't
yeah,
hold on to that and try to make it, like you said, a monopoly of pain. Like just accept that we all went through the same thing. It's just we cool. I think about that shit.
yeah. Yeah, it's like Theo Von. Theo Von was like, black people was trying to blame me for taking their stuff. He's like, you think I'd take all your stuff and
Yeah,
then
live
live
next
next
to
to
you.
you? He was like, he, he was like, and I don't have the
Yeah,
stuff. He was like, somebody got all our stuff.
yeah. God's real shit though. It's like that's what I mean. It's like we all going through the same shit, but you trying to act like it's different. It's not. Like that's where we at though. That's where we at.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
I want to be the arbiter
yeah.
of
Really.
pain. Your pain's not real because I say it's not
And
real.
and then when
Yeah,
you say nah, we're going through the same.
yeah,
Nah, no,
man.
you didn't go through my pain. It's like come on, man.
Yeah, yeah. That's where we get
Yep.
lost in the subjective and the objective. Yeah, yeah, man. But shit, man. And I mean, I got to go
Yeah,
to practice in a little bit, man. I'm glad we talked, man. I don't know if you got more. I don't know if you got more time this
yeah.
weekend.
This week I'm free. I told you, I'm some summer break. I ain't doing nothing.
Yeah, 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 yeah. That's right. You're a teacher. That's right. You got
I
time.
got time.
Yeah,
I don't got the money to buy, but I got
yeah.
the time and the time, dude.
I remember mad teachers would say this shit to me like a lot of motherfuckers don't get vacations like teachers do. They don't have time like teachers do. And I was like, you right. You get a
You got to
good
chunk
chunk
off,
off.
man. I couldn't do any other
But
job, but yeah, we can wrap it up. Hit me up. Let's chop it up. Maybe over the weekend I'll think about some more topics and shit.
yeah, man. We'll brainstorm, man. I'm gonna be talking to you then, bro,
Listen,
man. It's a
man.
pleasure as
I'll
always,
talk to you
bro.
later. All right.
Be
All right,
easy
man. I'll
over
talk to
there.
you.